Some time has passed since the homecoming dance, and everyone has settled back into their usual routines. Every morning you wake up for class has gotten colder, and as we move ever closer to the end of the semester, we arrive at homeroom just as we always do. We pan in through the windows in the hall to find Nightwalker at the front of the class making his morning announcements. Good morning, class. As you all know, in a few weeks' time we'll be arriving at the end of the semester, which means that midterms will soon be upon us. I trust that you all have been studying well and practicing in your physical education. If you've been slacking, I suggest putting in some hard hours at the dome and making a routine of it. Nightwalker's tone, already stern as usual, gets just a little bit colder. I'm sure you are all aware of recent news stories of criminal activity escalating in Terminal City. Not just an escalation in the number of crimes, but in their level of danger as well. Street-level thugs have been contending with professional heroes, and the city is scrambling to get the right people on the job, to find a solution to this new problem. Personally, this looks to me like the ever-present escalation that superpowers have presented to our society. A given. But the classroom is no place for politics. The reason I bring this to your attention is because you are all here, now, training to fight this very problem. As it continues to get worse, regardless of what those currently in power do, you will be forced to deal with the aftermath. A few students mumble under their breath. It is not fair to any of you, but this is the world we live in. If you truly wish to be a hero, then you must continue to practice. Strive to soar ever higher. Compete to be better than your classmates at what you do. You cannot stop striving to be better, for your own sake. After he says this, his shoulders get ever so slightly less tense, and he continues on. Now, in a few weeks' time, right before midterms, we will be hosting mock combat drills. These will be graded and serve as the foundation to your physical training, so be sure to practice well. Do not disappoint me when this test rolls around. Understood? He looks to you to reply.
Yes, Mr. Nightwalker.
Yes, Mr. Nightwalker.
Good. Homeroom is yours until the bell sounds. If you require my assistance, just come and ask for me. With this, Nightwalker takes a seat once again. With the announcement of mock combat drills on the horizon, you all are going to have a danger test to take very soon. You spend your time in homeroom chatting to one another and studying as needed. When the bell rings, you are all able to move along with the rest of your day. As always, we make our way to the dining hall. After passing through your first couple of classes, you all eventually arrive here. For those of you in front, where would you guys like to sit today?
Ooh. Tough choice.
Gonna sit right next to my prom buddy.
Yeah, where do you guys want to sit today?
Echo's gonna let Joe find a spot first.
You're like hanging back in the line, waiting to see where Joe goes before you decide.
Yeah.
Joe, like, looks at the table, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, looks back at Echo for a second and, like, looks around. And then goes to sit by Nelson. And peers next, like, looks at Gabe directly head on, and then just sits next to Nelson.
As you come over and kind of look at Gabe, he also just kind of looks back at you for a second, and he offers you a nod as you sit down, before just focusing on his food again. Now, Echo, where are you gonna sit?
Nako?
Now, Echo!
Nako?
Nako sounds like it'd be the name of like a forgotten protagonist from like a PS2 platformer.
The Adventures of Nako. Nako. But he's gonna sit here. He's kind of in the middle, kind of minding his own business.
Okay. And Lily, as you move away to go towards your usual seat, you end up accidentally bumping into someone, moving away from getting their own food.
Hey, watch where you're going would be nice.
Priscilla, as she turns and walks in your direction, bumps directly into you, bumping into your tray and actually getting food onto you. Oops! Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, girl. I didn't see you there.
Yeah, well, watch where you're going would be nice.
Sure, sure. Do you want me to get you any paper towels?
Uh, I mean, where are they?
Oh, just over here. She, steps back over here to a roll of
I want to
paper.
ghost to trip her again as she steps away
Okay, roll.
with her
roll,
tray of food.
roll your commanding spirits.
Probably. I want her to fall into her food. Oh my god.
As she, it's not even that far. Literally a single step. You take this opportunity to make her trip on herself, and it's not like she goes tumbling onto the floor or anything, but definitely even catching herself on her foot, she falls into the counter against her own tray and steps back up to look at her clothes, pissed.
Yeah, I can get it myself. That's alright. You do have a track record for falling on your ass.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you get that stain out of your dress?
No, I didn't actually, funny enough. Well, I mean, not yet. I'll also be sending it to a cleaner. But,
Oh,
it's
that's
kinda
good.
uncertain as to whether I'll be wearing it again anyway.
That's good, that's good. I was wondering, since you still look so frazzled. I mean, your hair's kind of a mess today. I mean, it looks good on you, just, I thought I'd ask.
So do you need someone to guide you to your table, or, like, what? You seem kind of, like...
Oh, are you wanting to escort me? Wanting to sit with the cool kids?
No, I figured you could get one of your lackeys to do it.
Oh, yes, of course. I could. And she just kind of gives you a little smile before going to turn. Oh, by the way, I thought I'd ask you about something, actually. Your dad owns the mall, right?
Yeah, for sure. Skyview Mall.
She claps her hands with a smile and says, "Good. We hosted an event there recently. I think you were there,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
We were thinking of hosting another event at the mall, but we're not really sure which one to pick. I mean, it'd be a really big attraction, would bring a lot of foot traffic and a lot of money to the mall, but we're thinking of going with one of our other options, but I don't know, I thought I'd ask you. Do you think we should use Skyview Mall?"
Well, I mean, yeah, I think you should. But also, my dad's business is my dad's business. He's been successful for this long without me securing him any extra money.
Oh, I know that what you say has absolutely no sway on anything, sweetie.
Okay, then why are you even bothering talking to me?
Oh, I don't know. I just wanted to know my classmate's opinion.
Okay.
Anyways, sorry about the food. And, I guess I'll have to go get this out of, my dress as well, so I guess I'll be seeing you.
For sure. Yeah, I've heard... What is that, Daughtry?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
My name.
I've heard that shit's overpriced and not really worth it, so, I don't know, you could always just, like...
Oh, it's okay
wear
if you
normal
can't
clothes.
afford it, sweetie. I mean, your dad just owns a mall after all.
Okay.
But hey, it's okay. I mean, you look good in what you've got working for you.
Sure.
And she just kind of goes to walk away.
Hello, girls.
You sit down at the table, and they look at you and are like, Triffany speaks up, like, "Oh my, Lily, you have a little something on you."
Yeah, she has, like, her ghosts holding napkins, sort of dabbing her off. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's just a t-shirt.
Do you need to go to the bathroom or anything?
No, I mean, it's not that bad.
Okay.
I do. Lily, I've established Lily does eat a salad, so it's mostly just, like, fucking, vegetables that are on her shirt.
Kathleen waves at you very energetically. Hey, Lily!
Hey, Kathleen.
Hi! Are you doing good? I heard homecoming was fun for everybody. Did you have a good time, too? I heard
No,
you got something
homecoming
on your
sucked.
dress?
Yeah, homecoming sucked.
That sucks. Did anything else happen, or was it just kind of the dress thing?
Just kind of a mediocre event.
I had a lot of fun. I got to dance with so many people. Well, I got to dance in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, how'd the asking literally everybody in the school thing go for you?
I don't know.
Okay. Why do you not know? Aren't you the one who did it?
Um, I was kind of really excited and moving around a lot, so by the time I was done asking somebody, I was already asking somebody else. I think I might have gotten a little too much sugar.
Okay, for sure.
But I
Wait,
had a
so
great time.
you're human, aren't you?
I
Just
don't
with
know.
magic. Okay.
Triffany just kind of...
What do you mean?
Triffany just kind of looks over at you and is like, well, anyways, um, other than that, how are the rest of you girls doing today? Do you have any plans for the studying?
What for combat drills?
Oh, for multiple things. I am having some issues with some of my classes. I was thinking of maybe forming some kind of a group for the studying.
Oh yeah, we could study.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Olivia just kind of like silently sitting there watching the conversation. And we'll pan away from that to Joe down here at the bottom as you sit down next to Nelson and, you know, not next to Gabe, but like over from him. Nelson offers you a wave. Hello there, Joe! Fancy seeing you over here today.
Yeah, I thought we could maybe talk about studying.
Oh, absolutely! We should probably be getting that study group together soon, yes?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Good. Well, you had said something about hosting it with your club, so I know that you're going to have club members there. Is there anyone else you're going to want to come to this study group?
I was thinking that I could probably invite Alex, and they aren't coming to the meetings regularly, and I could probably pass an invite to Lily, but they probably already have someone to study with.
Well, it's always better to ask. Then we could get, well, more people, and the more the merrier, right?
Yeah, but also we don't want it to get too big, because then, it might not be focused. And I
Oh,
want to make sure it
nonsense!
doesn't get too off track.
I've got a study plan for a group regardless of the size. You see, I can start us off with a small presentation, and then depending on the subjects that different groups have their own problems with, we can split off into smaller groups.
I guess that would be easier for you. Kind of like remembers that Nelson can just like split off and help multiple people.
He chuckles a little bit.
No, that's a great idea.
Nelson looks to Danny and Evan and is like, would either of you two want to come to the study session? Danny just kind of waves her hand a little bit and says, no, I think I'm good. But good luck with your guys' studying. And Evan just kind of scratches his head and is like, I might need to come. I would have to see if I could, though. I mean, I don't know if, like, practice would get in the way or anything.
Just let me know. We're having some extra meetings to make some more time for it.
Sure, absolutely. Nelson starts, yeah, he's kind of like, he's already eating, but he pulls out a few pieces of paper in order to start, like, you know, drafting and showing you a few of his study plans. And you can see that there's a big focus on history, which, you know, he doesn't say anything, but you remember talking with him a little bit about how you didn't do super hot in history. And he just seems very excited to be able to talk and study about it.
Yeah. I'm also, since to be polite here, I'm gonna turn towards Haley as well, and just extend the invite out to Haley.
You look over and offer it to her, and she just kind of looks over at you, seemingly, like, surprised that you're talking to her. She's like, why?
Well, we're all meeting together at the same group, and we're all gonna be covering the different subjects together, so if there are any areas you need to bulk up in.
Maybe. I'll
Open
think about
invite,
it.
no pressure. Yeah, it's all up to you.
And she just kind
Joe
of...
is just kind of trying to be nice. He seems kind of worried about his own grades, you know what I mean? But yeah, they generally do mean like they're not trying to put pressure on them to show up or anything if they feel uncomfortable with it.
After you ask, you can see Haley kind of, like, playing with her food a little bit, just, like, moving it around with her fork. And out of the corner of your eye, you see Gabe, like, look at you for a second as you're extending the invite before just looking back down to his phone as he messes with it.
I'm like, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not looking at Gabe.
Open
Not
invite.
great.
Open invite, but... meanwhile, while this
Yeah,
conversation's...
it's true. I feel like they would like pan away like after saying the yeah, whatever, it's an open invite, and then like looking at Gabe like fuck.
And you're like, open invite. Good thing he doesn't really talk.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, my dog is crying.
You're all good. Meanwhile, while that conversation's happening, we'll actually move up to Alex and Echo up at the upper table. And you guys sit down, and, you know, everybody that's at the table, which is a little lighter than usual, greets you guys. And, you know, Joe in the background moves off to the other table, and Aiden, you know, droops a bit and says, "Oh, where's Joe going? Is Joe not sitting with us today?"
Alex kind of stays silent.
And Echo, Aiden kind of looks at you, because Aiden, like, knows what was going on, but you get the feeling from him saying this that he, like, probably figured things worked themselves out. And he looks at you with, like, a pleading look in his eyes.
Echo does like the slash across his neck thing and just kind of makes like a wincing face as he does that, and then reaches into his poncho and pulls out a sketchbook and pulls it out as he starts cracks that open and starts eating on some food as he seems to be looking over designs for something. He's just kind of like finalizing a schematic.
Working on
Ooh, a secret.
a secret.
Yeah, I can't let you know all of them.
Well, you have to show us when it's done then.
Oh, don't worry, I intend to. And he kind of like smiles over at her and gives a bit of a wink. Just in the testing phases right now. I still got to get a couple parts, but when it's done, it'll be good.
Robert croaks a little bit. Robert croaks a little bit and says, "I've considered getting some kind of equipment in order to help me out, but I'm not exactly sure what would help me. I just figure something outside of jumping around might be helpful."
You can do more than jump around, can't you?
Well, yeah, but I just mean, like, you know, a police officer doesn't run on the scene without a baton or a gun or something.
Echo kind of like pauses as he's like stops his drawing and like tries to picture Robert with a gun. He's like, I really can't see that, and like in the back of his head, but then he just kind of shakes that thought away.
He just kind of shrugs and he's like, it's just a thought that's passed through before. I might end up getting some kind of suit upgrade beyond just shorts, or I don't know. I've been practicing with some stuff.
If you run it by the club, I'm sure they could be more than happy to help you out.
Yeah, maybe. I might see about something. Meanwhile, Vizula just eats silently over to the side.
Echo kind of just shakes his head and starts eating his, what would he have? He'd have some kebabs, like for old time's sake, and like eat those as he works on his schematic.
Also, you feel many pairs of eyes on you.
Yeah, and that's why he's kind of burying himself in his work. He knew that he'd be getting looked at.
Can I roll for rumors?
Yes, you can. Whoever wants to roll... Yeah, you guys can roll for rumors
yeah.
now if you want to.
I forgot about that. I actually also need to
I'm
do
good.
that.
I'm good. I'm good.
Lily specifically is wanting to hear. I guess she wants to hear what the big rumors post homecoming is because she's afraid they're about her. And well,
Okay. Let's see here. Let me figure this out. Joe, do you have your ear out for anything in particular, or are you just trying to see what's on the grapevine?
It's like between two things. okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm at this table, there's a part of me that's like, I wonder if anyone knows about what happened with Gabe,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then the other half of it is me being like, I wonder if anyone's talking about me and Echo.
So yeah, none of you have heard anything about the situation with Gabe. That seems like a closed secret between those of you who were there. You do hear people talking about what happened between you and Echo, but thankfully, it seems like everybody is on your side. You are not only very popular, but Echo didn't have a very good look that night. And ultimately, what you hear is everybody's kind of talking about Echo as being like, God, what a fucking dick. He's fucking spineless. Echo, Will didn't roll, got rumors about him.
I wish my mic was down just so you could hear my scream. Thank you.
Alex, you do hear some rumors about you as well. People do not know about the situation with Gabe, but it seems like some people both noticed that you disappeared from Homecoming a few times, and apparently some eyes spotted you roughed up and in your hero costume later that evening. So people are talking about what you were up to tonight, what you were up to that night, rather. And basically, you hear a lot of words circulating that people just kind of assume you left Homecoming to just go destroy shit. You know, just kind of went around to let off some anger. And while that isn't necessarily like, you know, a bad thing, because like, you know, teens do that, especially someone with pent up powers, this might hit you a little different considering you're like, people are talking about me just like fucking using my powers to destroy shit. That's not a look that I like.
Yeah. That's not a good hero reputation building right there.
So that's what you hear about you. And Lily, as you've been, you know, you're putting your ear to the ground, you're listening to what Triffany has heard and kind of listening around the lunchroom when you've been moving in. And you definitely hear some stuff about you, because not only are people talking about how embarrassing it was that you had, you know, punch spilled all over yourself and that you basically looked like a frazzled mess all night, but also people are talking about the, you know, the short stints you've gotten into with Priscilla a few minutes ago and at Homecoming, and are basically just kind of calling you out for being a bitch. And what's more, from how you've heard these rumors, you have a pretty good inclination that Priscilla is the one stirring the pot.
Lily is upset about that, of course.
Mm-hmm. And so with the 2 failed rolls, I'm going to shift some labels real quick. Alex, shift superior down and danger up. And Lily, shift superior down and freak up.
Sad.
So yeah, that's what all of you guys are hearing on the grapevine. And we'll cut back into, you know what, we'll cut back into you, Lily, as you're kind of like getting the report after having heard some of this before, but Triffany kind of, you know, telling you some things that she's heard people talking about, being like, hey, so I heard people saying this and that, and, you know, just kind of like, you know, worried talking to you and making sure you know what people are saying.
Liz, like, angrily, stabbing her fork into her salad while she's like, yeah, fine, whatever. Like, I fucking care what the fucking circus thinks of me, sure.
Oh, you are quite strong, Lily, but, you do seem a little, agitated.
I'm fine.
Okay, girl. Well, in other news, I have spoken to Vizula a little more.
Yeah.
It has been quite exciting. I am hoping to speak to him a little more through the club and maybe outside of it.
And she just kind of starts going off, and Kathleen bouncing off of her. Meanwhile, Olivia is still silent, but, you know, just kind of giving you a little look in your direction, just checking on you, but, you know, not prodding or anything.
Well, it continues to angrily fuck with her salad.
And you get, well, first of all, you're definitely still feeling the cough from before. It's been persisting ever since, and, it's getting a little more rough, but it's not kind of reached the point where you think too much of it, but your cough kind of spikes up a little bit, and, as always, you can see your breath ever so slightly, just knowing, the ghosts are hanging around. That's always fun. Like, I called them for one thing, and now they're just sort of hanging out.
One of them still dabbing at her with the napkin despite it being done now.
Yeah, you're just like, yep, that's cool. Yeah, I totally have telekinesis, everybody. I'm just making sure I get that last spot. But as that table sort of chatters to itself, we'll move back over to Joe proper now. So Nelson, has started eating and stopped going over his little lesson.
I feel like after like going over his plan, Joe would be like, "That all sounds perfect. Okay, so I just have to go." And he kind of like looks over to Alex and then looks over Lily and is like, "I should go ask Lily and see what their plans are, and then I'll maybe catch Alex on the way out."
Oh, absolutely. It would be exciting if all of them could come.
I'll definitely go check and see what the plan is.
He gives you a little salute.
Joe kind of gets up. Kind of like Joe at lunchtime because he's the one in the group that does not eat. Hello.
Lily looks up from angrily stabbing her salad. Yeah. Hey, Joe.
So we're having a little study thing. I'm gonna host it at my club. I wanted to invite you guys.
Who's we?
Me and Nelson and everyone else at the study group. So I assume that Maya's probably gonna be there, and probably Aiden too. And then I'm gonna ask Alex. Vizula will be there also.
Triffany lights up.
Pointing at Triffany.
Lily was like, well, we already had plans to, study as a group, but, and she looks to, Triffany. Yeah, I guess we can go.
Triffany claps.
You can have your own little, section. We're gonna break it off into groups anyway, so you guys can still just be your own group if that's the vibe.
Sure.
Oh, that is most wonderful.
Joe, looks around, nods, alright, great. Proper use of the term. Okay. I'm gonna head over and see if Alex wants to come as well.
For sure.
Olivia waves to you goodbye. Kathleen waves excitedly and says, I can't wait to come study!
You want anyone to come with you to make sure a certain someone at that table doesn't try to talk to you?
I'm gonna just kind of cruise by and then casually head out into the hallway. I think that's my plan.
Okay.
Doing a very awkward walk.
Lily sends a ghost over to stand behind Echo, so if he tries to speak, the ghost will flick him in the back of the head.
Echo's working on his he's working on the schematic. He's kind of working on it, and he looks up and he notices Joe, and he goes to say something, but not to Joe. But regardless, the ghost will flick him in the back of the head, and he winces. He goes, ah.
Zula looks over at you and says, Are you quite alright, Echo?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know, something...
Lily's staring you down from over her shoulder.
I don't know what, and he looks around, and he looks behind him and catches Lily's eye, and he just sinks lower and
pulls her fingers across her lips, zip it.
He kind of sinks lower and just kind of looks back at his schematic.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Joe.
I wanted to extend an invite to study for the friendship gathering. We're gonna have a lot of people come and study.
Oh!
He's looking at Alex and also looking at Vizula and Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
They probably have already heard about this.
Yeah.
Being in the group.
When you bring it up, Aiden looks to you, Alex, and says, Oh yeah, you should totally come, Alex. It'll be really fun.
Yeah, I'll try and make it. I do have some other plans, but if I have time, I'd love to come study with you guys.
Missoula
cool.
gives a calm nod.
Awesome. And then I want to ask, would I know, just in character, if Maya's going to be there or not? Maya usually comes to group.
You haven't really talked to her about it, so you figure you might need to ask her.
Okay, cool. like walking around. I'm like,
quickly walk by behind Echo, both of you avoiding eye contact.
yeah.
Well, when Joe was saying that, Echo was kind of giving a bit of side eye to them, and then like he went to sigh, but he did it really quietly to avoid whatever the hell hit him prior.
Getting superstitious.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? But he just kind of just sighs and just works on his schematics, seemingly a little hurt, but
Hey, Maya, Robert.
Oh, hey Joe.
I wanted to invite you guys to come and study.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that I could make it for that. That sounds like fun. And Maya looks up at you after her snakes do. And she kind of just, like, looks you up and down for a second. And then just looks back to her book and is like, I'll probably make it.
Thanks. Awesome. It'd be good to see both you guys there. We're gonna keep it pretty cool and small groups, and so it won't get too crazy or anything.
And she just kind of gives you a little nod.
It was like, all right, and kind of like stretches off of the table. It's like, yeah, we'll see everyone in the next period for sure. I probably like have this brief moment where I like lock eyes with Nelson and do finger guns.
Nelson does like a little fist bump.
And Joe is going to like leave, basically. He's kind of going to leave the lunch period because he just feels a little awkward. He doesn't necessarily eat. Like, so I feel like he just wants to chill, maybe like hang out in the hall and start heading towards his next period.
As you head up to leave, you see Priscilla's like throwing some stuff away, and she turns towards you and is like,
Oh, hey, Joe.
Oh, hey.
Fancy seeing you here.
She gives
Yeah,
just
right,
a little
we
smirk.
Go to school together, I know.
It's a joke. Yeah, nice to see you. Did you have a good time at homecoming after, going down and doing a little more dancing and stuff?
It's like that freeze frame flashes of just like the fight over the ocean and like yelling at Gaben is like, yeah, no, super cool. It was really, really cool.
Oh, that's so good. I was kind of excited to see you as homecoming king.
Yeah, I still am kind of shocked at that. I've got my little sash hanging up in my room now.
She giggles a bit and says,
Well, you're quite popular. Everybody's a big fan of Joe, so, keep it going, Tiger.
Thanks. Yeah, you too. Queen.
She gives a little, a little friendly laugh at that and gives you a wave and goes to head back to her seat.
betrayal.
So, all right, okay. I'm leaving the lunch period.
Yeah, you'll head out in this direction and
Okay, cool.
make your way out of the lunchroom.
Yeah, I was like, where's the exit actually?
To the left and right. You gotta make sure we know where our exits are.
I know, right? I would not do well in a fire.
But yeah, a little more time passes. We'll focus back on the Alex and Echo table as Joe heads away.
Does Alex look at Echo at all?
Yes, she makes awkward eye contact.
He looks upset.
Kind of.
A little upset. He looks a little upset. He's, Dey'ja, is that ghost still behind him?
I mean, once Joe leaves, Lily would stop paying attention to it. I don't know what the ghost does. She doesn't control every single action they do once she's done with them.
He'd just look upset a little bit. And he'd just be upset. And he's like scribbling, drawing the schematic, redoing it, scribbles it out, draws it again.
Robert croaks and just says, "So that was something."
Not a word. He raises a finger.
You guys haven't talked since that night, have you?
Nope. I thought giving him space would help, but I don't know. He kind of just tosses his pencil on the book.
Maya turns a page in her book and just speaks up and says, "You're spineless."
Excuse me?
She looks at you dead in the eyes, which are eerily glowing, and just says, "You're spineless."
Why am I spineless?
She looks back to her book.
I mean, maybe you could come to the study thing tonight.
No. No. No.
I
Give
think
him
that
space.
would be a bad idea.
That is a really bad idea. I'm gonna give him space. I don't know what happened that night. I just was trying to make everyone happy, and I'm the bad guy. Everyone's painting me up to be the bad guy. Ugh.
Robert puts his hand on the table to get your attention, like, you know, kind of like softly to get you to look over in his direction, and he just says,
Echo, you can't please everybody.
I don't know. He just kind of deflates a bit. And just goes back to his work. He puts like a hand on his forehead as he's drawing. He just looks defeated and deflated.
And yeah, a little more time passes in lunch, and eventually all of you, you know, you all get up from your seats. You start heading out, throwing your food away and whatnot. And you know, the lunchroom kind of starts to lose students as everyone's kind of starting to make their way out after the bell. And I'm going to move some people around a little bit.
The whole lunch gets deleted.
Yeah, I'm deleting everybody in the lunchroom. I'm just moving everyone over to a good spot. And yeah, you guys all start, you know, heading out through the doors, and you know, you've got Mr. Manchester here waving to everyone, kind of talking as he heads off to prepare for his next class. You guys are just all able to talk and hang out on your way out.
Lux is gonna, you know, as we're here walking out with Echo, she's gonna just turn to him and ask, like, "Hey, are you okay?"
No, I'm really not.
And Echo,
You can definitely.
Priscilla actually walks up in your direction, also heading for the door. But you know, she looks at you and just says,
Oh, Echo, what's the matter? You still feeling bad after homecoming?
Yep. I'm sure you've heard the rumors.
Oh, everything, yes. People are not happy with you, Echo. Nor should they be.
What do you think? And he kind of gives her a look like he's expecting the worst.
She puts her hand on her chin, and then gives you just a little smile and says,
If I had to describe you, I'd probably say you're something like a bug.
Yeah, that's right on.
Honestly, a bottom feeder.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're doing, do you?
Not in the slightest.
All right, Priscilla, that's enough.
she looks over at you and says,
Oh, I'm sorry, are you the side chick?
You don't talk to my friend like that.
she like looks you up and down, and just flicks her hair and says,
Fine, fine. I'll stop playing with my food.
Echo's just giving her like a look.
she
Out
just
rolls her eyes.
you guys head out of the lunchroom.
Does Priscilla leave first?
No, Priscilla's by all means just letting you guys go. She's not like standing in your way or anything.
As Echo and Alex leave, he just like gestures to Priscilla, and like as they like out of eyeshot of her, but he's like just gestures like yeah, see that, yeah.
What are you doing?
Like he, as they're walking away, he does like a gesture to her as if like yeah, that's what I mean, like that kind of thing. That's what I got to deal with now.
Ah, yeah. You're just like, that's not fun. As you guys head out of the lunchroom. And Priscilla just kind of like watches you guys go for a second and shrugs to herself before heading towards the door. And then she stops and looks over her shoulder and sees you, Lily, gives you a little wave.
Where are my girls?
They headed out in a different direction to go towards
What
their
the hell?
lockers. Mm-hmm. Gotta go towards their lockers to get stuff.
Well, I mean, is she waiting for me?
She actually does turn around and start waiting for you. Just kind of smiles and gives you a wave. Goes to stand in your way and just says,
Hey, girl,
Could you please not talk to me?
why
I
ever
just ate.
not?
I don't want to lose my lunch.
Oh my gosh. You still got some stomach issues.
Yeah, for sure.
Stress from homecoming really dealing with you that bad?
Totally.
I'm so sorry about that.
So,
By
like,
the
are
way...
you obsessed with me? What's your deal? I've never once gone out of my way to talk to you because I don't want to.
If I had to say, you kind of rub me the wrong way.
How? I've not even tried to rub you anyway, once.
She gives you a little smile and says, you must have a terrible memory then. We both know how things were towards the start of the year. Though I guess you started staying in your lane after that, huh?
Are you talking about when I hit you with a dodgeball?
Everything before that, maybe.
Hey, guess what, dumbass? That's dodgeball. When you're on the other side, I'm gonna try to hit you. What, do they not play that in your fucking private schools?
Regardless. Tell you what, though. Hitting each other sounds kind of fun. There's a little bit of tension. So, I thought as a team-building exercise, because we don't exactly get along, maybe we should do some combat practice after school one of these days. Sounds like a good idea to me, just so we can get closer and get rid of all of this tension.
You think that's gonna get rid of the tension?
I do.
I don't know, I can't imagine you being very happy when I undo all that work you've got on your nose.
She kind of touches her nose a bit and just smiles and says, well, if anything did happen, I guess at least I could pay to have my face fixed. Meanwhile, you still have to deal with whatever you've got going on there.
Oh, trust me. You're not gonna touch my face.
Surely. So, what say we use the scheduled time I've already got? I mean, I was going to use it for practice, but I can invite you along.
Yeah, sure. I'll beat your ass.
Good. I'm excited to see you there. And she steps, back, and you can tell slowly and carefully to just gesture for you to go through the door first.
When Lily takes a step, she has one of her ghosts kind of lightly shove Priscilla on the chest. Not like to knock her over, but just that sort of like, back up kind of shit.
And as you walk through the door and you kind of shove her, she smirks, and you step through the door and a light clone goes to trip you up a little bit. You don't fall over, of course, but same level of tripping as before. You catch yourself, and as you look back up, you see as it evaporates into sparkles, and she gives you a little finger wave.
I am going to rip that shit blonde hair out of her head.
And of course, while you were talking with Priscilla about this, you could see the sort of eyes on you and whatnot. But you end up heading down the hall and on towards your next class. And after lunch, you guys go through the rest of your day and the rest of your classes as you normally do. And eating your fill, chatting up with your friends and whatnot. You move through the rest of the week. It's time for your studying, training, and everything else to begin in earnest as you start to prepare for midterms. But first, we fade in on a pair of students who are focusing on their teamwork and control.
Oh boy.
There we are. I scrolled all the way to the bottom.
Zooming into the dome, Gravitas and Rift Runner enter the scene to witness a city street being devastated by a band of killer robots. They march down the street toward you, with destroyed hydrants spouting water and flaming empty cars in the distance behind them. You two are here in order to stop them. What do you want to do? And actually, before we properly start things, you guys are entering combat together. So, DM me who you guys think the leader of this interaction is.
I bet they don't get it.
Text.
It's a coin flip chance. There's gotta. All right.
You guys are the ones that designed this scene, so I'm hoping you guys are in sync on this one.
You. All right. All right. Here we go.
This is the funniest way you guys could have voted. You guys did not vote for the same person.
We both 40 chest ourselves.
Okay, by default, add 2 team to the pool, and since you guys did not choose the same leader, nothing else happens, so 2 team in the pool, plus the 1 that you guys have by default, even when there's no combat, so 3 team, and that's it. So you guys have 3 team in the pool, and you're ready to jump into combat, so what do you guys want to do?
I'd start by just saying, Echo seems a lot more tense than usual. He's not like his usual peppy self. He's still peppy, kind of, but he's just very tense, and he just needs something to, like, take the edge off, and he's hoping this is that.
Mm-hmm.
He looks to Alex and goes, alright, what's the plan?
See if I can chuck some of those guys in there.
We could do the classic, so, in context for the scenario, these are robots. They're not supposed to represent humans, right?
No, these are in context robots.
Alright. Yeah, we could try the black hole method.
Alright.
Left or
Should
right?
do we both need to roll?
Speak up a little bit.
Do we both need to roll?
You'll have to move in and describe your move to me.
So I was kind of thinking that he could open up a portal like right in the middle, and I'd make that the center of gravity to try and at least get these 2 closer ones sucked in there.
Okay. Echo, you good with that?
Yes, sir.
Alright, then you two will, you guys will run ahead a little bit just to close a little bit of distance. And as you move up towards the crowd, Echo, you prepare to create a portal, and Alex, you prepare to pull the others into it. So roll to unleash your powers. And that's +1 because Echo is helping you on the move if you wish to spend it. It wouldn't actually change anything, so you don't have to spend a team for that. So yeah, Echo, which dimension are you opening a portal to?
Let's give the boys back home something to scrap. Put it in the sand realm.
All right, you open a portal to the sand realm, and you can draw where it's at. And Alex, you make the portal the center of gravity as you start trying to pull some of the robots in. And one of the closest ones gets pulled in pretty easily, flying towards it, but the other robot gets pulled in the direction of the portal, but just barely misses it as it lands on the opposite side, with this robot disappearing. And the portal is still open, but of course your vacuum seal on it, only lasted for a couple of moments as this robot, kind of orbits the portal for a second and lands here before charging towards you guys. Echo, what do you want to do?
One's through, and he sees that the other one's coming this way. He's going to close it just so it doesn't come back out.
Mm-hmm. Well, how do you want to react to this guy closing the gap between you guys?
Is he just running right towards us?
Yeah, he is running towards the both of you with, what looks like an electrified baton.
Echo's just going to go to open a portal right in front of him, so he runs into the fire realm.
Alright, roll to directly engage a threat.
Does the robot underestimate me?
No.
For the shot.
Alright, you have 2 from the directly engage a threat list.
Ooh, I could be cheeky. Ooh.
Do it.
Okay. Alright, let's be cheeky. I assume it's coming at them. I am going to resist and avoid his blow, which he's clearly coming at me, and then I'm just gonna open a fire realm portal right under him and, like, melt his legs to create an opening for Alex.
Okay, I was expecting that to go a little bit differently, but that is good. So yeah, you open a fire portal on the ground in order to stop him in his tracks, so obviously he can't get close enough and hit you, and his legs start to melt, which, yeah, lets you follow up, Alex.
Is he kind of like falling to the ground now that his legs are melting?
It's more like molten quicksand.
So is he like still standing or what?
He's standing, but he's in place, sinking in position slowly.
Okay. Can I use the force of gravity and put it like behind my feet and just give him a kick to the head as he's sinking?
Yeah, sure. Roll to directly engage a threat, +1.
+1. Okay.
Ooh, was that with the +1?
I had done freak first, and I think this is the second one, so this should actually be for engage a threat. Okay. I had 2 boxes pop up.
Yeah, danger is the directly engage a threat stat.
Okay, there we go.
So yeah, you try to follow up with a swift kick, but sadly, as you throw your kick, the robot, which, is stuck in position, is not able to close the gap between you guys too much, but when you try to kick, your leg kind of whiffs it a little bit as the robot falls a little faster than you were expecting him to, and he will whip out with the electrified baton and just smack your leg with it, knocking you over to the side and shocking you a little bit. And roll to take a powerful blow real quick.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I already have 3 conditions. What does a full hit do to me?
You can take 2 of the lower list, or you can take 1 of the higher list. You can
I have to find that again.
you can either flee or pass out. You can lose control of yourself or your powers in a terrible way, or you can take 2 from the lower list, which is struggle past the pain and mark 2 conditions, or give ground, or lash out verbally.
I'm gonna give ground.
Okay, and you have to choose 1 more.
And I guess I'll lash out verbally.
Okay, so you're gonna lash out at Echo and provoke him to foolhardy action. What do you say to him?
Echo's no
I'm
good
bad
there.
at this.
Very bad at this.
I don't want to damage Echo's self-esteem any further.
No,
I don't know.
you're in
Well,
the heat of the moment. What do you yell at Echo to tell him to do? What does he need to do?
I'm just gonna tell him to just open the portal already. God damn it!
Yeah, you go to follow up on the opportunity he made. You accidentally whiff your kick just a little bit, get just smacked in the leg and knocked off to the side, zapped a little bit, and as you're trying to pick yourself up, Echo, you get yelled at to just open a fucking portal or something. Deal with this guy.
Echo kind of like hisses at that a bit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, fucking fine, I will maybe." And he goes to like, he's gonna call in the cavalry.
Okay. To roll to call the cavalry boys.
He's gonna be Spark. We need a heavy hitter, and he's gonna try to summon one of the. Actually. Yeah, no. Let's do the golem.
Okay.
That'll do it.
A full hit. All right. Yeah, you back up a little bit and open a quick portal. And out of the portal... Yeah, let's get him here. Out of the portal steps one of these good magical golems.
As the golem steps out and he like slaps his hand to transfer Spark into the golem, he just goes, "Smash him."
Smash him. And yeah, the golem rears its fist up, smashes it into the drone, and just blows it to pieces as you're able to, the ground had gotten him stuck there and cut off his legs when you had to close it and open up the new one for the golem, and while it was still trying to, not fall flat on its ass, the golem absolutely smashes this droid and gets him out of the way for you. And now you have another teammate. As Alex, you pick yourself up, and you both look down the street and see that there's still more robots left, with these 2 in the back running forward and preparing some plasma fires. They start peppering you with plasma shots. What do you want to do in response?
gravity on this golem really light so I can throw it at that big robot in the center.
Spark, no!
Yes, you can. Roll to unleash your powers for me.
Echo is gonna probably go to like duck behind the golem to, like for cover, and then all of a sudden it's just gonna land.
All right. Yeah, Echo, you dive behind the golem to protect yourself. Alex jumps back here as well, taps the golem. You're like, what? No, wait! And the golem floats up in the air. You basically force its gravity in this direction down the street, and it flies straight forward like a cannonball towards the big guy in the center. And thankfully for the both of you, the cannonball manages to do some pretty hefty damage, denting it and smashing the center screen on the robot, causing it to stagger. But sadly for you, Echo, the golem falls apart and is destroyed by the force of gravity. And Spark whips back into your earring, and you just hear a low, disgruntled hum.
Okay, hey, Alex, can you warn me when you do that? Yeah?
And as you call that out, a shadow goes over the both of you as this robot has leapt in the air and is going to try to land on the both of you. So, both of you roll to directly engage a threat. Nice.
No, that's
Nope.
help.
Alex, you manage to pick yourself up with zero gravity and move out of the way as this robot slams into the ground, creating a crater. Echo, you barely stumble out of the way before the robot picks up its arm and just arm bars you, just smashing you over in this direction into the wall.
He goes ass over Deacon on the wall. Just,
And Alex, since you got a full hit, you can pick 2 from the directly engage a threat list. You can resist or avoid their blows completely, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Resist and avoid his blows, and I'm
Okay.
going to create an opportunity for my ally.
Alright, so you completely dodge his attack, or the robot's attack, and you float up into the air over the robot as it tries to grab at you, but as you whip your hands towards it, the robot, you force gravity down on top of it, and the crater beneath its feet only continues to get deeper and deeper in the ground as you are forcefully holding it in place. An Echo, while you pick yourself up from having slammed into the wall, you've got an opportunity to hit the robot. But real quick, let's see how badly that hit dealt damage to you. Roll to take a powerful blow. Ooh. Alright, you also get a full hit, so you can either choose one from the upper list or 2 from the lower list.
one from the upper list or 2 from the lower?
On take a powerful blow.
Take a powerful blow. Oh boy, you love to see it.
This is the kind of round you love to see.
Yeah, no kidding. Is that on the basic move sheet?
It is. It's on the first page, bottom right corner.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So it's either, sorry, it was 2 of the first or...
It's either one of the first list or 2 from the bottom list. Because you got a 10 plus.
Ah, yes, okay. I'm gonna give ground and lash out verbally to Alex.
Okay, what are you gonna yell at Alex?
Echo's gonna be like, "Come on, Alex, I did something. Let's see you do something more."
Yeah, you guys are kind of buckling under the stress a little bit, and sadly, because you have hit the wall a little too hard and it's knocked the wind out of you, Alex, when you were expecting Echo to come in and, finish your combo here of holding the robot down, sadly, you just hear Echo yell at you, you look over to see him in his own crater, and when you look back down at the robot, it points its eye up towards you and shoots a laser at you, knocking you out of the air and onto the ground, forcing you to release your grip on the robot. Meanwhile,
That's not what I meant!
Meanwhile, the other 2 in the back continue to charge forward, and each of them will start peppering both of you individually with fire. So both of you, roll to take another powerful blow.
Kill me.
Actually, no, on these shots, I'm not going to count that, so be glad that I decided to backpedal. They're both going to start firing at you, but actually, what do you two want to do in response to this situation? You've got the giant robot in the middle, the two smaller lackeys that are starting to try to pepper you with plasma fire. First, we're going to look at Alex. How do you want to prepare as, you start getting plasma shots thrown at you?
Actually, Ethan, can I have Echo yell something? I have an idea.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Echo, realizing he's kind of getting mad for no reason, spits out some blood as he's getting like
Into your
about to be
mask?
shot at. And he looks to Alex and goes, "Fuck, Gravitas, throw me at the big one."
If you say so.
All right, you want to do that?
Yeah, and
I'll do that. Can we add an extra team so it's +2?
It'll be adding 1 because you're helping them with the team.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm nice and give you an additional +1. But yeah, you end up kind of pivoting and flying around in order to dodge these plasma shots, and you basically just make. Well, actually, how do you want to throw Echo? Do you want to direct his gravity at the central robot, or do you want to make the central robot the center of gravity?
I want to make the central robot the center of gravity so that these guys can get a little bit disoriented too and maybe stop firing lasers.
All right, cool. So with that, roll to unleash your powers, Alex.
I did.
Oh, you did. You did very
It's
good.
right
Yeah.
there.
Nice.
that's a 9. Is that a 4? No.
That's a 7. But yes. So you make the center robot the center of gravity, as thankfully all of these plasma shots are thrown off target. These guys flying into and sticking to him as if he's a magnet. And Echo, you start flying in the direction of these robots. What do you want to do as you're flying over here?
Echo's gonna prepare Spark, and he's going to use alien tech, and like shove Spark into the big robot and get it to either fight for them or self-destruct.
All right. Then you land against the robot and roll that for me.
I believe that is. I did. Yeah, it's freak. Okay, I forgot what it was. I'm rolling with the stat because we have active moves, but I just was curious what it was. I was like, ah, fuck. Forget what that move. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Yeah. What full hit mechanically? What are you doing?
So I'm just gonna read this out to you quickly. You alter a human device with your alien technology, which is Spark. On a hit, you create a device that can do something impossible once and then fizzle. When you roll a test 1, I can choose 1, which is it works exceptionally well, and I get an additional use out of it, and then whatever it is on a miss, which doesn't really matter right now. But he's gonna get it to self-destruct with the other robots in the vicinity.
Okay. You do that. You fly in, you slam your hand on the robot, Spark goes into it. You can feel Spark messing around in the robot, and eventually the screen, which is cracked from the golem before, starts flashing an error message, and you're like, all right, it's about to self-destruct, and then you realize you realize you're still in range. Alex, you watch as the central robot just sparks and explodes in a blue fiery light from the magic that's pouring out of it. Echo, now roll to take a powerful blow again.
Can I roll to specifically like lower Echo's gravity so that he more slowly gets launched off and doesn't hit the ground super hard?
Tell you what, since you're controlling the gravity in the area, I will let you roll Savior to try to pull him out at the last minute.
Okay.
He realized that. He's like, yeah, I'm doing great.
Yo, there you go. All right. So let's see here. Yeah, so this is the defend move, and you got a 10. So let's see here. Okay. Yeah, so you do this without any drawbacks. As you see, Echo slam into the robot, and you're wondering, oh, what's he gonna do? You see the robot start to malfunction, and you know that the other robots won't be able to get away in time, so you cancel your gravitational pull and just go to grab Echo and, fling him away from the explosion before it goes off. And Echo, you go tumbling onto your back as the central robots all blow up together, thankfully saved just in the nick of time.
Echo lands on his back, and he just kind of he stops for a second, and then there's a visible pause, dot dot dot, and then he just shoots up and goes, yeah, that's how we do it. I like to see you Earthlings do it like that. Yeah.
Echo.
And he goes, "Pardon?"
That was awesome.
He goes to run over and just give like a crisp high five to her.
She gives a powerful high five.
Yeah!
Uh,
Oh, I needed that. That felt great.
And an Echo, Spark pops out and kind of like pats your cheek a little bit and then points at your mask. And you look down where you coughed out blood and you have a red stain on it.
Oh. Besides that, oh, and he pulls down his mask. And he kind of like gives Spark a little pat with his thumb before smiling back at Alex. Blood running down his mouth still.
You always seem to get a little bit banged up, don't you?
Just how it is. Good job though. And he just kind of seems to like come down from that high.
Yeah. Sorry about yelling at you.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of did the same. It's been a tense week then.
Well, that was definitely a way to let off some tension.
We gotta come up with a name for that golem toss, because that could be good.
How about the bowling ball?
Ooh, I like that. What's a bowling ball?
It's an earth sport where you have a big heavy ball and you toss it to knock down a bunch of little pins that are set up, and the more you knock over, the better your score.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, let's go with that. That one's good. He pulls out his journal and writes that down. The bowling ball. As he's writing that down, she'd see the schematic again. Does she want to peer at it closer?
Yes. She's curious because he called it a secret.
She'd see it's written in some gibberish she doesn't understand, but it looks like it's some sort of device that he's gonna hook to his shoulder and upper arm. But it looks made out of metal and like technology over his like normal ruin magic stuff.
She takes a glance at it. She's like, "Are you sure you can't tell me anything about that yet?"
He closes the book and goes, "Nope."
Okay.
I gotta have some tricks to keep you guys guessing.
Well, that there was pretty good. So I didn't realize you had that kind of stuff up your sleeve.
Oh please, it's not just me. I have a partner in crime, and is Spark still outside?
The Spark pops back out to act like it's dusting off its chest a little bit.
Not just me. I have Spark here.
We're a package deal.
Yeah, no big deal. And he kind of smiles and just goes to like wrap his arm around Alex and just kind of smile.
She'll give him a hug.
Oh. He winces a bit at that and kind of just pauses and hugs back. I'm still mad at you for the study group thing, by the way. He's kind of saying that as a joke.
Yeah, I was just thinking, since everybody would be there, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you just came and tried to hang out. But I mean, I see
No.
where you're coming from.
I think Joe needs time, and he made a point not to invite me, so I'm not going to invite myself.
Okay.
Besides, I got, cool scavenger stuff to do, like
Okay,
stuff.
well,
Trying to act
change
open
your
hearted. He kind of like leans back and gives a smile as he just pats her shoulder.
Yeah, you guys have got plenty of time in your reserved time slot for the dome today, so you're able to talk a little bit more and set up a couple more simulations to practice a few more of your team moves as we move a little bit later into the day, and you guys continuing to fight different arrangements of enemies, different types of enemies, and just trying to figure out more ways your powers can be used together since there are so many possibilities. And as you guys continue practicing, we pan out from the intense physical training, and a few days pass before we follow Echo on these preparations we've been hearing a little bit about. After school, in the Engineers Club, a few students are working hard on their final projects. Echo is getting a little help from an upperclassman with his latest gadget. Sadly, though, as we all know, it seems like he's missing a couple of parts. Nevertheless, it seems like the shell of what you're trying to put together is coming along nicely.
Echo's kind of like using, he's kind of like welding it together with little tools with his goggles down. And then he lifts them up and gestures to it. Does that look right? Or is it too... Do you think that'll be too tight on my arm?
She kind of looks at it, holds it against your arm a little bit. You might want to give it a little more room to breathe, just in case. Whenever you're moving around, you always want to have a little more room rather than a little too little, because it might cut into you or, cut off a little bit of circulation.
Would straps be an option?
Straps would probably be a good idea, given how your outfit is put together. Yeah, I would think so.
Do we got any laying around?
Oh, plenty. Here, I'll go grab you some. And she'll
Thank you.
move over in this direction, and she starts, messing around on this shelf while one of her limbs extends all the way over here to open a drawer to grab something else. Meanwhile, kid here at the table gets bopped on the head, and he's like, watch it.
Sorry, Sid.
He just kind of waves you off a little bit, like, I guess it's fine, and writes, but is, like, hunched over his paper, writing as the long metal tentacle is going over him.
Oh, man. Echo's kind of lifting it up, and his eyes are sparkling, and he looks down at, like, his schematic he had drawn in his book, and he's, like, he's grumbling a little bit because he knows he doesn't have the final pieces. But it's coming, it's like one of those projects when they're coming together, how, like, happy you are. And God knows he needed this after everything that happened in the past week.
And as you're thinking about this, the door to the club slides open, revealing a familiar face. It's Lewis. Lewis steps into the room, tucking in his wings as he looks around.
Echo smiles and waves at him. Lewis!
Oh, hey, Echo. He'll
Hey, how you doing?
walk over here. I'm doing all right. You working on something?
Yeah, a little something for myself, and he kind of puts it to the side. Just finishing touches and all that. I need some other parts, but those won't be till later. What brings you in?
Well, you had talked to me a little bit about, maybe having some kind of gadget or something to help out, and I don't know, I was thinking about it again and got kind of interested, so I wanted to come check the club room out, and, yeah, I mean, I really haven't ever been down here. I didn't need to get a costume made because, well, I kind of already had this garb, but, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems pretty cool down here. I might be looking for a suit upgrade or maybe some kind of gear like you mentioned.
Ooh, and he kind of rubs his hands together as he, like, slides his journal over and flips to a new page. What were you thinking?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not really all that sure. I was kind of looking for some suggestions.
Okay. Here, let me ask you this. What is your preferred fighting style?
Well, right now I've been practicing a lot of hand-to-hand, but I mean, I don't know if I really need anything outside of that built.
Mm-hmm. What about ranged?
I don't really have ranged options. I'm not really much of a ranged fighter.
Would you consider yourself more aggressive or defensive?
Kind of a balance.
Balance? Okay. Echo's kind of writing this all down. Okay. So you don't have range and you're more defensive, and you said you might want some armor too.
Yeah, I mean, this garb's kind of what I've been wearing since I started, practicing my fighting before coming to the school. And, it's padded enough in order to protect me during practice, but some of the teachers told me I might need to look into some kind of defensive upgrade, maybe.
Do you want this to complement your current power or maybe give you something new?
When you say current power, do you mean my wings?
Yes.
I don't know what you mean by that.
In terms of, do you want it to help them maybe give you more mobility, or do you want it to give you something completely new?
Well, helping my mobility could be useful since, I mean, it's not like I can fly freely around in the air, but also I kind of don't want to just rely on my wings. I would like to have some options outside of them.
Okay. By the way, what's your hero name? I just realized I never got it.
Oh, yeah, I guess I never really talk about that kind of stuff that much. My hero name is Avian.
Avian. Okay, and he kind of writes that down and he underlines it. I assume you want that kind of in the general theme, just, because I know some people like theming.
Maybe.
Okay. Okay, I'll keep that all in mind. Is there anything else I should keep in mind? I'll probably brainstorm a couple ideas and get back to you.
Well, since you're a first year, I don't know if you would actually have your hands on any costume work. I know that it's usually the upperclassmen that do that, but I guess if you leave any notes for them, obviously, I need to be able to put on whatever my outfit is around my wings and still have it be secure.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of turns around to show you the tunic he's wearing and, shows how it, is more like one big robe that has been wrapped in a way to form a tunic that, secures itself around his chest and around his wings and everything. And how under, it seems like whatever padding he's wearing over his chest is, wrapped around his body rather than put on over the head or anything like that. And he's like, yeah, things that I wear have to be built a little differently.
Mm-hmm. And I assume you can only carry so much when you're flying, too.
Yeah, my wings are also pretty heavy, so honestly, if I have too much on me, I won't be able to move that quickly on the ground.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'll just brainstorm a couple ideas. We don't necessarily need to make something, but it's good to get ideas going, especially for them.
Yeah, I just after you talked to me about it, I was kind of eager to see, what other students might think of. I'm not really that creative when it comes to stuff like this.
Oh, don't put yourself... did you help design your hero costume as well?
Not... Well, I mean, it's kind of just robes. I wouldn't say I really designed it.
I mean, it's not some thought put into it. It wasn't like they gave you the tracksuit like they did me.
I guess not.
Give yourself a little bit of credit. And he kind of gives him a small pat on the shoulder.
Thanks. What's the thing that you're working on? I mean, it's gear for you, but, what does it do?
Oh, it's something a little different. I'm missing a couple parts. I got to scavenge those up in the Sand Realm. But it's supposed to be a little bit more. I don't want to give you too much information because I got to keep some things from Heist, and I know he likes to snoop around.
Does he ever?
Yeah. So I'm not going to tell you fully what it does, but it's very, very tricky.
All right. Well, I mean, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
Honestly,
sorry.
No, I just was gonna say it's kind of impressive to me, all the kids that are down here and able to make some of this incredible stuff.
I mean, we kind of just what we do. And he kind of looks over to Sid and goes, Sid, what are you working on again?
I'm working on some augments for my body.
Augments for his body. Yeah, just like a gesture to Sid.
Sid just kind of gives a little side eye and a wave and then just shakes his head as the tentacle baps his head again, coming back to Rochelle. He's like, Rochelle, could you please? Sorry. Here's some of the straps you were looking for. Hey there, can I help you with... You were talking about an outfit or something? Oh, yeah, I guess you're the leader of the club. Yeah, come right over here for a sec. And she takes him over there to talk.
Echo smiles at them and just kind of gets back to work on the thing, and he kind of takes off some of the metal and puts in the straps as he kind of looks them over and puts it on his arm, and he's like, yep, this is good, this will be good, and he kind of flexes it a bit.
And a little bit of time passes as you're putting these pieces together and figuring stuff out. Before you know it, a good amount of time passes as Lewis is heading out and just kind of gives you goodbye wave and is like, hey, I'll see you around, Echo.
Yeah, see you around. I'll let you know if I have any ideas. Oh, do I have your number on my pad here? And
oh, I guess not. Yeah, that's a good idea. He'll pull out his phone and go to wait for you to pull out something to tap it against.
Yeah, he pulls out his pad and taps it.
All right, cool.
I don't have a phone.
Oh, damn. I mean, I guess it's a good thing you have the pad then.
Yes, it definitely is, because I destroyed it in that fight with Heist one time, and I was kind of in trouble.
It's a shame you don't have your own phone, though. I mean, you can't really customize anything about the tablets, like, the backgrounds or anything like that.
Yeah, something... I don't know, there's something nice about uniformity.
Lewis kind of chuckles at that a bit and is like, oh, I guess so. And he shrugs a bit and says, anyways, thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, take care, eh? And Tell Heist I still hate his guts.
Sure, buddy. And he
I kind of chuckle.
heads out, and Rochelle steps over and says, "Oh, you're a natural, Echo. That was great. I heard how you were talking to him about starting to prepare some of his stuff, taking notes. You are excellent at this."
I actually learned that from you.
Oh, you are precious. Hey, are you going to be sticking around in this club next year? Because I would definitely like to have somebody on you helping me with some of the costume designs.
He kind of seems taken aback by that, and he kind of like blushes, like first compliment he's gotten in a while. He's like, yeah, sure, I can do that. I'd love to. Like, are you sure you want me though?
Oh, Echo, I mean, the stuff that you have, the designs that you make are so creative. I really think that we need a little bit of that, a splash of that sort of flavor in some of the costume designs, because some of them are getting a little samey sometimes. I mean, it's just always nice to have more hands on the ball, right?
Yeah, no, a little bit of outer worldly charm, as it were.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna let you keep working on stuff, but if you have any more questions, make sure to ask me, okay?
Yeah, absolutely, and thanks for offering that.
Yeah, no problem. She'll
Again, smile.
go back to working on whatever she's working on this main monitor over here. And you look back around the club room. You see Sid is looking less agitated now that he doesn't have the tendrils over him, and that people aren't really talking that loud. You see Rhea over there working on whatever she needs from the 3D modeler. And of course, you notice that Kinsey is not here. And you would know, being able to come to this club for quite a while, ever since a little bit before homecoming, that since homecoming happened, you haven't really seen Kinsey at the club or at lunch. Obviously, she's been at lunch, just sitting at different tables, but she hasn't really been coming by the club any.
Mm-hmm. He's noticed that a while ago. He just kind of pushes that to the back of his head. He knows he's probably the cause, but he's focused on his work right now, and he's trying to like drown it out with something positive.
Mm-hmm.
Having had a rough week, and he's happy to get praise and offered something for next year.
Mm-hmm. And around the same time as we're, working away at this club, we come to see another gathering after school that's preparing for something just as scary as combat. A history test.
Dun, dun, dun.
And yeah, Joe, you enter the club room to a little more energy than usual. Nelson is here, invited to prepare his lesson plan, and all of the others that have arrived so far are huddled in a circle preparing their study materials. Maya sits off to the side, reading her usual books, and Kathleen continues to be confounded by the colorful marbles.
There's like, kind of like sighs a little bit. Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, hi, Joe. Nelson's been very excited in getting things set up, so I'm letting him, take the lead. But if you need any tips on anything, just, I'm here to help out.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. I'm gonna see what Nelson's got first.
Okay.
Joe kind of like waves to Nelson,
Mhm.
but like points over to the couch.
Mm-hmm. And Nelson will give you a nod and put up one finger as he finishes, typing something. Then he'll move over in this direction.
Yeah.
Hello, Joe?
He's kind of going to sit down on the edge here.
He'll sit on the center thing here right across from you.
All right. We're still waiting on a few people, or what do you think?
Oh, yes. Well, did Lily and Alex and the others you invited, did they all say they were going to come?
Yeah, they did. Alex said they tried to make it, but they weren't too sure.
Okay, well then we can give them a little bit of extra time and wait to see. And at that, we get two more faces popping up in the doorway. As Lily, you arrive here with Triffany.
Ooh, Olivia didn't want to come.
Yeah, Olivia said that she was busy with something.
Understandable.
And
Lily walks in.
you have an inclination to think she might have also been nervous about the group, but,
Yeah. Big crowd.
You step in, and Triffany is next to you and waves to the class and goes, "Hello, everyone! I'm so excited to be here for the study session." And Chrysalis walks over and greets her and starts talking as you get to enter the room.
Can I say all the regulars for like a split second? Like me, Kathleen, Bazula, probably Aiden, and Robert were all just like, "Hey, Triffany."
Mm-hmm.
Like almost like it's a customary thing when Triff shows up to be like, "Hello, everyone, I am here," and we're like, "Hello, Triff.
Yeah.
We acknowledge you."
All of you sound off. You even actually also hear Maya sound off when this happens.
Okay, that makes me really happy.
And eventually Chrysalis will let Triffany go, and she'll start making her way into the room as well, quickly moving over to talk to Vizula. And Kathleen, you can see, like, messing around with the marbles seemingly at random as she looks at you and gives a wave. "Oh, hey, Lily!"
Still doing your marble thing.
"Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how they work."
I tried to explain it to you guys a lot. You want me to? I mean, it's just what is it? What was it called? Mancala?
Yeah, I'm really bad at remembering things, and I don't quite remember how it's
Okay.
supposed to go.
I mean, do you want to know, or are you just content with like fucking around with them because they're colored?
I was kind of content just messing around with them, but
Okay.
I think I'd like to know how to play for real.
Okay.
And she,
I mean, you have a pad, don't you? From like the school.
Oh, she kind of pats herself down as like, "I think I forgot it in my room."
Is it not? Well, I guess you teleport. I was about to say, is it not how you get into your room?
Oh yeah, I guess
it's important to have it on you.
I guess it would be how I'd get into my room.
Isn't that how we pay for lunches?
I don't know.
I mean, I sit with her. She eats, doesn't she?
Yeah, it seems like she normally has random things on her tray, or sometimes she doesn't even have a tray at all.
Lily starts thinking about that. Do you just... She lowers her voice. Do you just take food from people's trays?
Oh, I mean, if they offer it, but normally I just kind of take the food. Like, in the lines and stuff. But, I mean, people move really slow, so I just kind of go ahead and take stuff, and then I go to a table.
I think for sure that's not what you're supposed to do. But also, I'm not a cop, so who cares?
When you say you don't think that's how it's supposed to work, you see her like, "Wait, is it not?"
Nah, you're fine. I mean, has anyone stopped you?
No, not really.
Then it must not be a big deal.
You see her perk up at that.
Well,
And you gonna head back to the rest of the room, or are you gonna start showing her Mancala?
oh yeah. Hey, get your pad. At some point, we can just download a PDF of like the rules.
Ooh.
So you can just have it.
What's a PDF?
PDF. It stands for something like document. I don't know. It's like a book but digital.
Whoa.
Yep.
That sounds cool. Okay, I'll try to remember to bring it tomorrow.
Okay.
She waves to you, and then you can, as you're walking away, you hear her drop all of the marbles.
That's okay. That's probably part of whatever game she's playing. Lily briefly thinks about going over to Triff, then is like, "No, I'd just be third wheeling it."
She's earned that time.
She'll walk her way around these guys and just sit here.
Nelson gives you a little wave as you come over. "Hello, Lily."
Hey.
Maya's still looking at her books, at her book rather, but all of the snakes on her head look over in your direction. And they just stare at you.
She gives them a singular nod, like of acknowledgement, because she doesn't know if she doesn't know if Maya can see through the snakes, so she just feels like she needs to treat them as if they're her.
Mm-hmm. You see no answer. She does not look at you, and the snakes don't stop looking at you.
Oh, okay. Just look away.
And yeah, you're over here with Joe, and you guys are able to get a little bit of small talk in until eventually the door to the club opens one last time. And we get Alex stepping into the room. Hello.
Ew.
Yeah, Alex, you
Kind of,
step into the
Go ahead.
club. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Is you step into the club and you see everybody's just kind of having a good time.
she's gonna step in and kind of scope out the room and look for a good place to sit.
Mm-hmm. And you see that like the open space at the bottom. It seems like people are preparing to use all this open space for the little study circles.
So I think I will sit over here.
You sit down and Robert gives you a nod and a croak and just says, "Hey, Alex."
Hey, Robert.
Joe gives her a wave as she like goes to take her seat as well.
Oh,
She waves over at Joe. She doesn't want there to be any tension, even though she's been hanging out with Alex a lot. She's Switzerland.
oh, she's been hanging out with Echo. You mean?
She's
Yeah.
Switzerland. That's good.
Not more.
Technology.
Nelson, Nelson leans into you, Joe, and just says, oh, "Is there anyone else that we should be waiting for?"
I forget. Haley said that they might come, but I told them there was no pressure on that, and trying to remember what Evan said, but I think this is about everybody.
Okay, I'll go start preparing my little presentation then. He stands up and excitedly goes over to finish his last little setups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys have got a little minute to yourselves before the studying starts in earnest.
Looking over, just having like that brief moment of like, at least I have this cool club. This is a cool club. How are you, Lily?
I'm taking it day by day.
Yeah.
When you say that, one of you might notice that Maya just kind of nods to that, like as in like Unity, like yeah, that's how it be.
And
I guess I'm in a fight now.
what do you mean?
I'm gonna fight Priscilla, I guess, in the dome.
What?
Yeah, like in the dome, so it's not like, you know, that dumb shit Echo did.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I guess I didn't expect that. So it's like a sanctioned fight, though. You guys aren't cool or anything. You still don't.
Oh
like
no,
each
I'm
other.
gonna attack her until someone pulls me off.
I don't get it between you two. She's so nice to me.
Yeah, that's her plan.
What?
See, she was nice to you, so now you're like, I don't get it. She's so nice. Why do you hate her, Lily? Well, that's why she was nice to you, so that this would happen.
That
She's
is
fake as hell.
something.
Maya,
Yeah, I used to do that. Trust me, I know.
Maya flatly, as if she doesn't believe what she's saying, but just to add it to the conversation, says, "Sounds like paranoia to me," flipping her page in her book.
No, it's real. Again, I did this. This was my whole thing last school. I know her ploy.
I don't know. I gotta be honest. I think I did ask her, what the beef is, and she acted like she had no idea what I was really talking about. She not like she didn't know that it was there or that you guys didn't get along, but it's like as if she doesn't really get why it started in the first place.
I mean, neither do I. I asked her that, and she just said that I rub her the wrong way. And I said that doesn't make sense because I've never tried to talk to you. I think it's because I hit her with a dodgeball and she's petty.
I remember that. I totally remember that.
Yeah, this time the thing hitting her isn't gonna have padding though, so.
Good luck. I definitely hope you get to show it to her in the arena, in the dome.
Yep.
I mean.
And at this, Nelson gives a little clap and says, "All right, everyone. I'm going to be starting the main history presentation. For those of you that don't really need to study history, you don't have to pay attention too closely, but I'm very excited to do this today, and then after we can break off into little mini study circles." And at that, you guys actually hear the door to the club open again. And you see Haley step in. "Oh, hello, Haley." She gives a little quiet nod and just moves to sit over here.
Joe like waves to her as she comes in.
She pulls like she kind of pulls out her phone and like looks over her shoulder to you and gives you a little nod before messing with her phone a bit.
Oh, that's that quiet girl from the other class, isn't it?
Yeah, her name is Haley. I don't know
I think I
much
talked
about
to her
her.
like once.
I just invited her to the group today. Didn't want to be rude.
Poor soul. She's sitting so close to the Kathleen zone. She doesn't know what's waiting for her.
No, she's in Kathleen's class, so maybe.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
that's
that's true.
Yeah,
Well, then she should know better.
Mhm. This distance you're giving yourself, lowering your guard too much.
If your goal is to sit quietly and not be bothered, you have chosen an incorrect spot.
Yeah, everybody sort of starts preparing and, getting their stuff together for Nelson's little study session. They'll also get together some stuff for this little study session. And you can see that he's like, utilizing a little screen that he's put in over here. Maybe moved from somewhere else briefly and hooked his laptop up to that he's got like a PowerPoint on, which I have a PowerPoint, but it's not like one for one what Nelson would have made, so I'm not going to show it on screen. I did consider that though. And yeah, with that, let's start our little study session. Also known by some people as a lore dump. Only by some people. Let's go with this. So Nelson just begins talking and kind of going over the materials that are going to be on your next history test, which seems to be focused around the ages of heroism. A brief little side note he goes on at the very start is going over the Forerunners. Before there were officially deemed ages of heroism, there were supernatural events and entities that took place basically all throughout human history. Everything predating the 1920s all are considered the forerunners of what is considered today to be superhero-dom. This counts as, things that have been happening in space for way before humans were even a thing, godly entities older than time itself, or even things as simple as the magical influences in ancient Egypt and whatnot. But moving forward, he goes into the Golden Age, talking about the 30s to the 40s. Now, this age was comprised of the first publicly recorded superhumans acting under unique personas. It's considered to be the first true superheroic generation. The heroes of this era weren't super powerful, but they all went up against incredible odds for the greater good. Sometimes the threats that they would fight against in the war at the time involved mutated individuals or robots, but most of the time the heroes of this era were fighting regular criminals or corrupt politicians outside of the war. As you all know, this was the time where World War II was going on, and the implementation of the escalated nuclear arms race kind of threw the war off track, and as superheroes started to become involved, everything escalated very quickly. But thankfully, regardless of the destruction at the time, the heroes were able to save the day and stop things from getting as bad as they possibly could, as we were all very terrified of the nuclear fallout that could have befell us. Notable heroes of this time include heroes like Atomic Man, whose powers include super strength, radiation immunity, and nuclear energy emission, energy beams that he would fire from his fists. It's said that he gained his powers from testing out an experimental nuclear weapon for the war front. Another hero from this age, which is a slightly controversial topic for some, is the Red Hammer, a Soviet soldier that piloted power armor built to run on nuclear energy. Now, the suit itself is what was known as the Red Hammer, but he took on the name for his superheroic persona. It allowed him to soar through the sky and scar battlefields with superheated laser beams, and it was sort of seen that he was almost like a rival to Atomic Man. Eventually, though, after all of the fighting subsided, we're not really quite sure what happened to the suit after that. Some still even consider him to be a Golden Age villain rather than a hero, but considering the complications of the war and the fact that we were working alongside Russia, it gets to be kind of a dicey topic. There won't be any questions on the test about whether he's considered a hero or a villain. That is entirely a subjective matter. Oh, and another hero from this age is actually our very own Liberty Eagle. He served as a fighter pilot in the war. After surviving a plane crash with nuclear shockwaves going over the ocean, he decided that he wanted to help heroes fighting on the front lines. The story goes that he stole a prototype wingsuit from the hangar, and the rest was history from there, with his history as serving as an attorney when he wasn't fighting crime. And for a long time, he was really a living symbol of heroism, even before the days of Mr. Fahrenheit taking the top of the charts. Of course, he's able to fly around with his suit and has enhanced vision, and he is also incredibly old. He looks over to Chrysalis, as if he wasn't supposed to say it like that, and she just kind of motions for him to go on, and says, yes, he's very experienced and has been working as a hero since the Golden Age, which means he's been at this for quite a while, so it is assumed that he has decelerated aging and some kind of superhuman stamina outside of his more standard physique compared to heroes that would come in later ages. Now, the next age after the Golden Age is the Silver Age, from the 50s to the 60s. This generation is known for its perpetuation of a dangerous escalation. Superpowers were becoming more powerful for reasons unknown, and larger threats were appearing to contend with them. It was at this time, actually, that the Earth was exposed to extraterrestrials for the first time, from peaceful beings on the run to threats that spanned the galaxy. Before the Silver Age, all threats seemed to be limited and capped at the city level at absolute most, and, well, that was far and few between. Now, however, the whole world seemed to be at stake with the escalation of superpowers. The number of supers that existed before this was easy to keep track of, but it very quickly ballooned out of control. There were a few hero teams that formed during this age, and with the rapid number of supers that developed during this time, there were also many superpowered criminals that were formed to sort of meet them head-on. The rise of villains' numbers seemed to be the reason that heroes multiplied at this time, but that is also a subjective debate among many parties. Notable heroes from this age include one of our other teachers, Golden Fiber, Mr. Manchester, Neighbor, and also Captain Gravity from this era. He was a very notable hero that sort of showed the height of the scope and power of superhuman abilities at the time. Following the Silver Age, we reach the Bronze Age, from the 70s to the 80s. This era was difficult for everyone involved. The Gold and Silver Ages proved that heroes were here to stay, and while many took solace in this, others despised it. Criminals were beginning to detest the saturation of heroes in society and how much control they had over right and wrong. This age marked yet another escalation, and it is known as a notoriously dark era for heroes. Legality was a big factor during this age, as it necessitated some reform and laws to be put into place in order to control the superhuman activities that were going on. It was during the Bronze Age that the Justice Bureau was founded. Criminals were beginning to make rash decisions. They would enhance themselves with super drugs, threaten the lives of entire communities, and they even started going at heroes where it hurt and trying to target those close to them, which is still a tactic that is used in today's world. Criminals weren't really being fueled by need. It felt more like spite at this time, as heroes and villains got very violent around this era. It sparks a lot of debate among basically all communities that talk about any of these subjects. many new heroes started to see the shortcomings of their predecessors and began considering how they could stop the escalation once and for all. Some heroes decided that killing villains would stop this, while others focused on more preventative measures. It is tough to say which is the correct answer, but society as a whole, and myself included, are trying to focus on preventative measures rather than more violent methods. Notable heroes from this age include Mad Purge, and also our very own Headmistress Foresight. Following the Bronze Age in the 70s and 80s, we moved to the Iron Age from the 90s to the 2000s. It was an age defined by technological innovation in a more modern era. Highly intelligent supers were only helping the rapid advancement of society, and after the war, when the old town of New York was destroyed, well, I call it a town, it was on its way to being quite the metropolis. There were many highly intelligent supers that helped to rebuild it into what is now known today as Terminal City. This generation was the first to be named based on the events that were defining the features of the era, rather than by a classical naming system like Gold, Silver, and Bronze. The Iron Age focusing on the technological revolution that I sort of described before. Because of this, some have actually considered renaming the Golden Age to the Nuclear Age, but that has been met with contention. This era also marked a comeback of styles from older generations' costumes and flair, as you could see that in the Bronze Age, many of the heroes we would observe had darker and sleeker outfits, but during the Iron Age, both mechanical outfits, which were very rare in the US before this, and some of the more colorful costume designs started to become more common as a way to try to brighten the moods of everyone involved in whatever catastrophes there would be. It was an era trying to build upon hope, as it were. Heroes of this age were bombarded by the vast array of things that were now commonly known to be possible. Of course, as I mentioned before, technology had been advancing rapidly to this point, to a more modern point where things like clones, robots, super intelligent AI exist. Extraterrestrials were now commonplace on Earth, where they had only just landed in the Silver Age, and magic was confirmed to exist around this era, where before it was mostly folk tales and legends. Time, at this point, is also thought to have been thoroughly messed with. It is hard to get a beat on the timeline being affected, but some top heroes say that it has happened by this point, and it is common knowledge that this is a possibility. Notable heroes that started making a name for themselves around this time are, of course, Kirk Weston, known as Kinesis, who founded Weston Enterprise, and, of course, our very own number one, Mr. Fahrenheit, flying around at the speed of light and all. Very just a big moment for heroes. These two really started leading the iconic image of heroes that we know today. And finally, we reach the present day, spanning from the 2010s to now. This is, of course, the present, the newest age, and it has not been officially named yet. Some refer to it as the modern age, others call it the new age, the young generation, and even more informal titles as it has yet to be defined. Most are thinking that by the end of possibly the next 5 years, heroes like us that are coming out of establishments like Star Heights are going to be the heroes to define this era and decide on its name ourselves, or in the very least, the personas that we bring will help the public decide what this era is sort of meant to be. At this point, knowing what we know about past eras, we are the most informed generation, and we are trying to make sure that we do not fall into any of the same crevices that previous ages did. In the Golden Age, it was a worldwide power struggle and a lack of tools and foresight. With the Silver Age, it was a crazy sense of escalation that we could not keep up with, and during the Bronze Age, it was a lack of legal function and authority to keep track over everything that was going on, as it was mostly chaos and entropy at the time. And during the Iron Age, we were mostly building up to now. Outside of that, there are other notable heroes. Of course, all of the faculty and staff that serve as primary teachers at this school, all also serve as heroes on the front lines in the city during their spare time. But normally it would have to be put on the side in order to focus on this new teaching job. With that, we also know of plenty of local heroes that make Terminal City their home. A few of my personal favorites, including the Primate, Jetstream, and Chimera. Jetstream and Chimera are actually graduates from not exactly Star Heights Academy, but from Star Heights when it was more of a sidekick program, aiming to jumpstart hero careers before it expanded into the institution that we now reside in. Outside of that, that is basically my rough rundown of the general ages. If any of you have any questions about the study guide's questions on each of the individual ages, I will try to help you out as best I can, but those are generally the most important features of the ages of heroism. Thank you very much. And he does a stiff bow to you all as a few people give little courtesy claps scattered around the room.
Lily wakes up to the clapping, is like, what? And just starts, like, looking in.
Joe's astonished by that. Like Joe's like as soon as you wake up, Joe's like looking at you, and you start clapping, and he like starts clapping after you. Like, holy shit, how did you just like bluff that?
And yeah, with that, everybody starts moving to, start getting into their little study groups as Nelson, goes to put away his prepared presentation and get some of his study notes together and prepares to go around the room and help the various groups.
Got it. It kind of looks around for a second. Oh. I think I might. I'm like looking towards Kathleen and Haley.
Mm-hmm. You see that Kathleen has warped over to her and started, gabbing her ear off, and Haley is just looking at her phone.
I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, should I be a good host, and should I just try to kind of save Haley from that situation? You know what I mean? Like, just so that they also get a good study time,
Mm-hmm.
So that we all stay focused. That's kind of what Joe's thinking. He's like, I think he's gonna ask Lily, he's like, do you think I should, like, join up with them so that they,
Well, I guess the question is Kathleen studying while she's talking? Is she talking about what they're supposed to be studying, or is she just fucking yapping? Because I don't know, if you want everyone to stay on track, I guess maybe you should get in there.
Yeah, I think I should. He's gonna start to stand from the couch for a second, just to kind of make sure that, like, everyone's kind of... It's, like, partially so that we make sure everyone's studying, and also so Haley feels welcomed in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of the moments I see with Haley is whenever Kathleen is talking her ear off, so...
Yeah, you walk over and you hear Kathleen talking about some completely random stuff. She's talking about something she saw while she was walking on the side of the street.
Oh, sorry.
That's what Kathleen sounds like. As Joe makes his way over there, Alex, how are you going to tackle studying? I saw a dog and it sounded like this.
Sorry,
I'm
my
gonna
dog's
work with
been
my-
asleep.
You're good. What, Nicole?
I'm gonna work with this little group that I'm sat with over here, and I also have a question.
Okay.
Is Aiden just sitting on the carpet here, making the floor all wet?
He's just kind of in a little pile. He's just sort of floating, not floating, but he's like just making himself at home in this spot. He is kind of standing or crouching if he were a person with legs.
Okay.
He's in a pile.
I love Aiden. He's a good boy.
He's just blobbing out.
Yeah. So I'm here. I'm gonna work with this group to study.
Mm-hmm. And you hear Triffany talking to Vizula, having, sat down over here and, patting the ground for Vizula to come sit next to her on the floor rather than, like, up in the chair since she can't sit next to him, and he does. They, start pulling out their stuff and going over their notes together. And Aiden is looking over stuff and says, "Oh, yeah, I think that I'm starting to remember the names of people from some of these eras or ages more, but I'm just still really nervous. I didn't think the tests would be this hard."
What we're here for, to kind of drill all those names into our head.
"I guess so." And Robert is just sort of like messing with his phone, but he has his notes out, like, like ready to use them, but it seems like he's not really too worried about it.
Okay. I will, I'll study with Aiden and try and help each other remember, because Alex really needs to pass these exams.
Mm-hmm. All right, and we'll move back over to Joe now, who's, gone to check on Haley, and of course, again, Kathleen is mimicking the sound of a dog she heard in the city.
Oh, that's crazy. That's perfect. That's perfect. He's like, hey guys, we're talking about history.
Oh, hey Joe.
Did you bring any of your note stuff, Kathleen?
Oh no, I think I forgot it in my room.
Oh, cool. Can you do a little zip zap zoop and bring your notes here, and maybe we could all study?
Yeah, sure. And then instantly, in a flash of light, she is gone.
Cool. Hey, thanks for coming.
Oh. Yeah, it's not really a problem.
Is it cool if I join you guys to study?
She gives you a little side eye, and then moves to grab her bag and pull out some study notes and put them on the table. I don't know if we're going over exactly the same stuff in the other class, but it's better to study now than after the test, I guess.
That is true. Yeah, I just have to really go over history, honestly.
Mm.
Presentation was good, though.
Hmm.
Nelson's pretty helpful.
Oh. Yeah, I guess so. He put a lot of work into that.
Yeah, he did. Joe kind of like smiles at Nelson for a second, kind of like thinking about that for a second. He's like, Nelson's a good friend.
And you see Nelson move over and start splitting into copies as they move across the room to check on everybody. And a version of Nelson walks over and says, "Hello, are you guys doing all right? Is there anything I can help you with in terms of the studying?"
We're just kind of figuring out what we're gonna go over first, I guess. We're making sure that we have similar material. Do you know about that, Nelson? If maybe the other classes, will they have different things that they need to go over than us?
It's probably at least around the same time. I guess the big question would be if they've reached the same milestones as us. But also the questions on the test will probably be different anyways. It's probably best just to study all of the material and, cover your bases, I guess.
Yeah, can't be hurt to, get all the marks, I guess.
Absolutely. And he looks down to Haley and just says, "Is there anything in particular that you're struggling with?" She just looks at him for a second, and Joe, you look between them, and you can see Nelson get, visibly a little uncomfortable when she looks at him. And she just says,
Okay.
Not really. I kind of get everything." "Oh, excellent. Well, if you do need any help, make sure to reach out to me, and I'll come over with a pep in my step."
Thanks, Nelson.
"No problem." This Nelson turns to walk away and goes to merge into one of the other clones.
So you kind of have everything covered? Joe says, like looking at her a little bit, confused.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not really hard for me to remember, but, there's a lot of material. It can be hard to get it all, I guess.
Well, maybe you can help me out.
And she looks to you and raises a bit of a brow and just says, Are you having trouble?"
It's just history. It's not on account of me, not necessarily knowing it, I guess. It's more about applying it. I don't understand all these larger word problems that we get on our tests.
Well, show me what you mean in the study guide you guys have. And then
He's
she...
gonna like start to kind of pull it out and
Mhm.
and pull to the pages where and I think he's gonna like pull out a test that he got like wrong answers back on,
Which
so that
would
he can
probably...
like show the stuff that he's getting wrong on.
Because you likely are very good at retaining, like, specific factual, like, fill in the...
Yeah.
Not fill in the blank, like,
It's like
the
tell you
multiple
a name,
choice.
tell you a date. Yeah, absolutely. But
Mhm.
once it comes into play of like, all right, and now you're in this type of situation. What are you supposed to do?
And, like, you
There's
know,
like, ah,
how
man,
would you
I don't really
describe
know.
how would you describe the issues of the Bronze Age? And it's
Or
a
like the impact of it, or
yeah.
something like that. He's like, ugh, I don't really know. I just know their names and what their powers are, really. You know, like, so he's has to kind of dive deeper with history, honestly.
And Haley will be looking over your shoulder and kind of talking with you about it a bit. Meanwhile, Lily, what are you doing over here on the couch as Nelson goes to approach and is kind of like, you know, asking Maya how she's doing?
I'm chewing. I'm sorry. I'm chewing.
Lily's on the couch chewing her cud. You just hear Nelson, you know, asking Maya if she needs any help with any of the material, and, you know, she gives a simple, curt no. And he just kind of, you know, is like, well, of course. And he'll look over to you, Lily, and just say, and is there anything I can help you with, or do you think you understand the material?
No, yeah, I think we got it over here, Nelson.
Awesome. Well...
Great presentation, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much, Lily.
Yeah, had me on the edge of my seat.
he'll spin around with a grin on his face and go to merge into the, well, now into the other Nelson and just have one in the room. And, you know, you kind of get a side eye of Maya, who is just reading a book from the library and seems to not have any other stuff with her here.
Yeah, is it, she'll like, you know, crane her neck a little bit to see the book. Is it even a history book?
No, it is definitely like, she is reading like teens fiction.
wait, teens fiction, what kind of book?
This is like along the lines of like Twilight.
Lily does laugh a bit at that.
You see the snakes kind of look over in your direction while she's reading.
So are you not studying because you just fucking, you know you're gonna crush it? Or like what?
And she looks at you, looks back at the book, and just says, yeah, I think I get it. I mean, I haven't really failed any of my tests. I get good enough scores.
Yeah, same here. Well, she'll pull out her phone and start watching TikToks.
Would you do that? If you ever do glance back in her direction, you now see that all of the snakes are also reading the book. We'll pan over to you, Alex, as Nelson comes over and you know, had met up with his other clones and whatnot. And he kind of kneels down and is checking with Aiden before looking over at you and says, and Alex, is there any in particular era that you're having trouble with in the study guide? I know that you had failed one of your tests. I think it was, we had talked about your math test, but are you doing okay with history?
I think I'm doing okay, and this is definitely going to help, but I don't think I need anything in particular.
Oh, very good. And he'll stand back up, and Aiden just says, I'm kind of having trouble with some Silver Age stuff. There aren't that many people to remember in the Gold Age. And like Bronze, I don't really get a lot of the longer questions, because they ask me, like, what impact did this have on society? And I don't really know. I don't know how to answer that question. That seems like too big of a question for me to answer on a test. Well, here, and he'll kneel down next to Aiden and kind of start trying to talk him through part of it. And Robert looks over to you, Alex, and just says, well, you think you're going to do better this time than you did last time?
Hope so.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I've been doing alright, but I failed one pretty big test towards the start, and I'm hoping this can help even out my grade.
Yeah, me too.
And he'll keep, messing with his phone and have his notes out just in case he's asked anything. And, Lily, as you're messing with your phone, eventually, in a flash of light, bang! Kathleen pops into the scene, standing on the central ottoman before she almost falls over onto you and then teleports and is sitting next to you. Just says, "Hey, Lily, what are you up to?"
Lily, absolutely, because she probably had her feet, kicked up on the ottoman. So when she fucking shows up, Lily fucking jumps and, stumbles with her phone, trying to keep it from falling to the ground. Jeez, Kathleen, stop doing that, please.
"Oh, I'm sorry." And her ears kind of go down a little bit.
Does she have large ears?
Yeah, she does.
I don't think I've known that.
Yeah, she has little pointed ears.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know, text me before you're about to do that.
Oh, sure, I can
Hey,
do that.
I'm about to jump in front of you, so at least I can, brace myself for it.
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of not really good at knowing exactly where I'll pop up.
Oh, okay.
I tried to come back into the room and I thought I was going to be closer to Joe and I ended up over here. But then I saw you and I was like, oh, that's one of my best friends. I want to go say hi.
Okay. Where were you?
I was getting my stuff. And she, puts a bag on the floor and then throws all of her study notes into the air.
Well, we aren't really studying over here.
Oh, okay. I'll leave you alone then. And then she teleports in the air, grabs the notes, teleports on the ground, grabs her bag, and then teleports back over here to Joe.
Jesus Christ, after all.
Maya just gives a little nod as she's reading her book. And Joe, you're talking with Haley a bit before Kathleen pops back into existence in front of you and says, "Hey, sorry I'm late."
Sorry, also swallowing some food. She just pops right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of is like, oh, yeah, hey, wait, where were you for a while?
I went to go get my stuff like you asked me to do. Look here. And then she pulls out all of her study notes and hands them to you.
Oh, great. Yeah, Haley was actually just helping me out a lot.
Oh yeah, Haley's really smart.
For sure, yeah. Maybe we can all study here then.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm not really good at taking tests.
Yeah, I wasn't doing too good on my tests either. That's what we were just talking about.
Haley just shakes her head and speaks lowly to you and says, "No, she usually leaves before the test is done."
Joe, does Kathleen hear her say that?
Not really. Kathleen seems to be in her own little world as she's messing with her stuff and pulling out her pad, which she has now brought.
Do you like taking tests, Kathleen?
Not really. It's kind of hard for me to sit still for too long.
You're passing though, right? You're passing your classes.
Well, I'm really close to being number 1, so I guess so.
Alright.
Haley looks to you, Joe, and just shakes her head and gestures to your test, which has a low number on it that's closer to 1 than 100.
Oh. Kathleen, we're gonna study really hard today together, okay? It's
Okay.
gonna be super fun, and Joe just got a really good idea. And for every grade that we get a little bit higher, we're gonna pick out some new marbles so we can to play marbles with.
Oh, new marbles?
Yeah.
I've really been hoping for an expansion pack.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna figure it out together and get some cooler ones.
It might be hard for me to get a bunch of grades up.
Let's maybe just pick one then and put some focus on it.
She looks around the room and says, I guess I can study history.
Great, that's what I'm studying.
And Haley will sit back as you two talk and, just kind of messes with her phone again.
Yeah. I feel like at that point Joe would just start studying. There's a part of me as a person who's just is it an anxiety thing, Haley, or who you texting? But I don't think Joe would say anything.
Meanwhile, you're trying to get not Haley. Well, you're trying to get both of them on board with the idea of studying and being apart, but you're mostly trying to get Kathleen to get in the right headspace and sit down long enough. And you very quickly start learning okay, gamifying the study process kind of helps Kathleen a little bit. And Kathleen can be very extra. She can move around a lot. And just as you start feeling, potentially a little bit stressed about it, you see that Chrysalis moves over and starts one-on-one helping Kathleen. And very quickly you see that situation is a little more under control. And, Chrysalis doesn't make a big deal out of it. She just comes over and starts asking questions and starts helping and making little games out of it herself.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yes.
I feel like there comes a moment where Joe would be like, okay, ask me these questions again and let's see how I do. And like starts handing some of like the questions over to Haley, and also is like, and don't be afraid to like spitball a little bit.
Okay. And she'll look over it and kind of leaf through some of it and says, okay, we'll start off easy. Name 2 notable heroes from the Golden Age. Go.
You're actually quizzing me, Ethan.
Yeah, I am.
I hate you. I have horrible memory in real life.
Pop quiz. Who are 2 notable heroes from the Golden Age?
It's just the ages.
Professor PP and Dr. Fart.
What? You cut out, so all I heard was Dr. Fart.
I just made up 2 really stupid hero names.
I was like, that can't be one of them.
And for sure, Chloe, whenever I ask you any of these questions, make sure you don't go to the world building chat and open up the Star Heights Generations PowerPoint. Make sure you don't do that.
The thing that sucks is that I have had that open since the beginning of this little thing, since we started this thing in my club room, but my computer is so fucking slow that this is how fast I can go through it. Like, this is how long it is taking me to get through it and to look at it. I know one of them is like Golden Age is Liberty Eagle, but I do not know another one. The Red Hammer!
Haley nods and says, okay, good. Let's see.
Keep going!
What was the Silver Age known for?
It was dangerous?
Well, every age is dangerous.
I guess it was known for whenever extraterrestrials showed up?
She looks down at the notes and just gives a shrug and says, yeah, that I think that'll count. Okay, let's see. When was the Justice Bureau founded?
I'll kill you. Let me guess. Guess? When was the Justice Bureau founded? The Iron Age?
She sets the paper down and raises her arms to give you an X before picking it back up.
The Bronze Age.
She gives you a little thumbs up.
This literally is not loading very well for me, so...
Okay. When was Star Heights Academy founded?
Star Heights Academy was founded in the modern age. Sorry.
She nods. Correct.
This is really...
Yeah, it
My
seems...
computer is taking a poop.
She kind of looks over the notes and is like, Yeah, it seems like a lot of the factual questions you're pretty good at. It's just mixing up an age every so often. Alright. Here's a good one. In the Bronze Age, a lot of things happened that sparked a lot of debate. There was a lot of escalation of criminal activity and the kinds of things that they would do. And of course, this era is known for, reform and legality and stuff. How did this affect the Iron Age directly?
Well, I suppose being harsh on criminals made it so that they had a lot of spite. So a lot of them came back with means for revenge, I guess. Also, it made it so because there were so many supers during the Iron Ages, whenever a lot of supers were starting to like how we advance things in our technology and stuff.
I think the question your teacher will probably be looking for is more along the lines of like, so the Bronze Age was really like dark and dreary and stuff, and because of that, the Iron Age ended up being, well, trying to be a lot brighter and kind of trying to answer all of that hardcore legality, all the harsh laws coming out, and trying to sort of counterbalance it. They'll probably be looking for something like that.
Okay. He's kind of like writing things down.
And she goes over a few more questions with you and kind of is like, testing your thoughts on various eras and giving you little tips here and there, and just shrugs and says, yeah, I mean, it'll mostly be down to getting your own thoughts about these ages and, just knowing how we went from one to the next. It's usually a pretty natural progression.
Like the modern age, because that's what's happening right now.
You say that, and Haley just blinks a little bit and then smirks and says, yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of what's happening right now, too. Well, I mean, I guess outside of all of the, stuff going on in the city.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not that, I guess. I'm
Yeah.
talking about, just cool stuff at school, I guess. It's been, weird day, right?
Has it been?
I don't know, just feels eventful. And then we have these big tests coming up, and yeah. Just kind of showing his nerves a little bit as he's starting to, like, he's finishing off his notes as he talks, you can tell his mind is, like, half in his words and half in what he's writing down.
Mm-hmm. And Haley kind of notices this, and just sort of, brushes some hair off of her shoulder and just says, you're kind of weird, Joe, but you're cool.
He, like, looks up at her for a second, like, oh, I didn't know I was being weird. He's like, thanks. Anyways. Did not mean to be weird, though.
It's
What
not...
is weird about it? About me?
Just, you gotta try to unwind a little bit, man.
Unwinding,
You're, like, really stressed, and it's super obvious. Which, like, I get it. Tests can be rough, and I know what you went through at homecoming and all. But you gotta leave some of that stuff at the door and try to just, I don't know, forget about it. I mean, there's not really a point in worrying about everything at once, right? You just take everything one step at a time.
Joe, like, takes a second and is like, he does the singular blink kind of at Haley for a second, and has that moment too where it's like, thank you.
It's not a big deal. Anyway,
Really
I have...
glad you came today.
Oh, yeah, it was not as boring as I thought it'd be. But, I actually have somewhere to be, so I do need to go. And she starts getting her things together.
Right. You need a walk there?
Oh, I'll be fine. But, thanks, I guess.
Have a good night.
She gives you a little wave as she heads out, and Chrysalis also offers Haley a wave. And Haley heads out of the club. And, Joe, you look around and you see a lot of faces around, everybody either studying or doing what they do, relaxing and whatnot, and really using this space to the fullest. And you can only hope that this will, at least help some of the students get a little bit of better grades, if not help people actually pass their tests.
Yeah.
But as we pan out of a club room full of students worrying about some very normal problems, we're going to move over to a world that's not so normal. It's that time again, everybody. It's time for sand everywhere.
Yay!
Echo, of course, you have been spending a bit more time at home lately due to various reasons, when you're not at the club, tinkering away to kill some time. You recently scored a jackpot of a find in the wastes with some pristine metal casing and wiring that you have been using on your project, but just as you got your idea, you realized you were missing those important and expensive, at least here, parts. So now, as you hear some rustling in the sand outside, you have decided to come here and set out on some kind of an expedition to go looking for the parts you need, because you're probably not going to be able to buy it, and if you did, it would set you back a little too much. And your ear catches the rustling of the sand outside, and when you look through your roughly carved window, you see that Karish is making some stew. It seems like you've lost track of time tinkering again.
He checks, because I assume there'd be a way to check time just by looking at the sun or suns.
Not really a sun, but the movement of the astral bodies in the sky, yeah.
Okay. He kind of put down his work and sigh. He just goes, I got carried away. No, this is good. I could borrow him. And then he goes to run out. He tucks in his chair, and then he just goes to skid his legs, creating sparks as he opens the door. Scales! He slides down the dune.
Karish looks up at you and chuckles and says, "Whoa, boy, slow down. You're gonna knock yourself over."
He almost does knock himself over the fire. He's making stew. He slows down. Hey, I need your help. Any nearby, any new, has there been any sounds on the wave of any new crashes maybe?
He kind of puffs out some smoke and it's like, "Your current project going well?"
Yeah, it's going great. I'm actually very proud of how it's turned out, despite everything else. How you been?
And as you're talking, the stew he's preparing, he is getting it into small cans. As you can tell, he's getting it ready, to go. And he says, "I've been doing well here. I know that you've been having a rough time a bit lately." And he hefts his plasma rifle back over his shoulder, stands up, offers you a can of stew, and just says, "Yeah, I got some kind of a lead. Let me go back and check what direction that might be in, pay some guys off, and we can head out towards it."
Thank you. I appreciate it. And then Echo has a big sip of the stew, and then he just kind of sighs. As much as he likes earth food, he still loves Scales' home cooking.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about it, when you go home and home cooking. He hears them be like, "Oh, I missed this."
Actually, you might as well come with me to the marketplace. The boys haven't seen you in quite a while.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, jeez, it's been forever.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna be teasing you about how your hair's growing out again.
It's a look. It's all the rage back on Earth,
I'm sure it is, boy. Come on.
Alright. He goes to run after him.
And yeah, you guys set off into the wastelands of Megea towards the marketplace that you guys frequent to get some of your information and get your necessary supplies. After stopping by the marketplace, picking up one of these leads that Karish had gotten from, a few crashes recently, eventually you head back, gear yourself up in your hero costume, just since you're kind of starting to get used to how it protects you, and, you made it with the wasteland sort of in mind, and you carry yourselves through the wastes, trudging through sands and over jagged stone. As always, this landscape, it's neither hot nor cold. The air here doesn't really make you feel anything. It's kind of dry, no wind blows, and it's terribly silent when you aren't being deafened by plasma shots or sandworm tremors. But you're used to this silence by now. Looking up at the sky, you see various moons in orbit. It comes to your attention that you've never seen a sun here like Earth has. Of course, when you got to Earth, you just, saw this big body in the sky, and you were like, yeah, that's normal. It's just the sky is clearer on Earth. But you get here and you notice that the lack of light truly coming from some singular point in the sky is, just different. The sky simply seems to glow here. There's still a lot you don't really get about this place and about Earth. But trudging onward, you follow in the direction of the coordinates that Karish got, and, both of you are heading towards this scrap dump and hoping that it's going to be what you're looking for, or in the very least, that it's, maybe worth something so you could sell it and buy the part that you need if somebody's got it, heading out past the hooked peaks.
As they're walking, Echo's been kind of silent as he pulls out his book and he looks over the design and kind of nods as he closes it and tucks it away. Where did you get this info from again?
One of my boys saw some rift on the horizon, and it was a little too far away for his caravan to go towards, so he kept some information close to the chest, gave me a bit of a tip, and said if I wanted to know more, I'd need to pay him. Didn't think much of it, but, well, you're in need of some scraps, so might as well go see what we can find, right?
How much did it cost you set you back, though?
It wasn't too much.
Are you sure? I know still times are tough here.
He just kind of smiles at it and he's like, really, it's not that much concern. We'll probably at least cut even based on what we're going to find here.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for anything that might be worth that you can sell.
He nods and puffs a little bit more smoke. And of course, he continues to lead the way ahead of you as you head over some more hills.
Echo kind of chuckles as he takes the lead and he kind of goes to walk beside him. How have things been here while I've been gone?
More of the same. I haven't heard from your, belligerent friend.
Ah, good. Hopefully Sandworm made her.
Kind of puffs out some smoke with a laugh.
As harsh as that is, I really didn't like her.
I'm sure not. I wasn't a fan of her myself.
For obvious reasons. And he kind of gives him a small nudge with his elbow. But I'm glad everything's okay here. I won't lie, I was worried about you back home and the boys.
The boys will be fine. We're used to things. Though I might be getting a little old for all this nonsense.
You don't look a day over 30.
Being generous today, boy.
Yeah. Maybe for extra soup when we get back. He gives him a little wink.
Maybe. He finishes off the last of the soup in his can before tucking it away. Speaking of, how are things with,
Oh, my friends?
Yeah.
The school thinks I'm... What were the words they used? And he counts on his finger. Spineless? Bottom feeder. I get it. I couldn't make up my mind, and I was just trying to make everyone happy. But, I don't understand this whole love thing and what to do and the emotions I feel like. I feel like I need to figure myself out before I help, and do that whole love thing. Do you know anything about love? Have you ever felt it?
I've only got one bit of advice when it comes to that kind of thing.
Oh?
And he just looks at you, looks forward again, and just says, when you got somebody you love, you don't let them go. That's all there is to it.
Echo kind of goes quiet at that and nods. I just feel like I gotta figure myself out before I try to figure out others,
Oh, absolutely. But that's all the words I really have for it. You take your time, you figure yourself out, and eventually the answers will fall into place.
Thanks, Skills. I miss you.
Don't get too chummy on me, boy. And he'll slap your back with his claws.
You can tell because he's wearing his like mask, or like you can see him wince, like because his face kind of scrunches up. Yep, no, definitely. Let's go find this crash. I've been waiting to do some. I miss raiding.
And actually, as you say that, Spark beeps at you in your goggles, and when you look ahead, you see him zooming in on a sparkle in the distance.
Oh, I think we got good information.
Might be a little closer than he thought it was going to be. That's easy for us.
Oh, absolutely.
And
As much as we can carry, right? You got the big bags?
Oh yeah, I've got a few sacks, some containment cubes. We got what we need.
Beautiful. I can't wait. I miss this. He's kind of like rubbing his hands together, like he missed this part of his life. Like there's something about like scavenging wreckages that there's like that hint of unknown and adventure to it that he just loved.
Mm-hmm. And you run a little bit ahead of him, and he'll follow along. And eventually, following the glimmer in the distant sands, you approach, and as you come over a small crest, you find. Yes, you find a pile of scraps, just seemingly dumped at random.
Echo's like, yeah, ooh, this looks good. And he goes to like, he goes to start digging. He knows the drill. He's done it a lot of times.
You run over there and start digging, boy.
Do you want me to roll superior for anything he might need and/or find?
Yeah, roll superior with your sharpened eyes as you move over here and start digging into the pile.
Ooh, yes.
Okay. As you're looking over the pile, you kind of start digging through it. You see some nice pieces here and there that might be able to be sold, for a pretty little penny. But, your heart's kind of drooping a little bit because you're like, oh, there's nothing, like, crazy good here. It's generally pretty, it's pretty normal, just scrap metal used for welding together. But as you are messing with it, from over a nearby crest, you catch the sounds of a few footsteps before the hum of a plasma rifle. Hold it there, partner.
Echo kind of pauses and raises his hands. Oh my god. These dudes rock.
From over the crest, a group of scavengers reveals themselves, guns trained on you and Karish. They must have been hiding out here. That is a mighty fine pile of loot, isn't it? It's a shame we got here first. You see, that's our property. We might be inclined to share a little if you drop your weapons, though.
Echo's kind of silent as he looks to see what his mentor is doing first.
Karish just gives a little nod and a puff of smoke and says, "Easy, boys. We're not here to cause trouble." And he lays his large plasma rifle, untucking it from his shoulder and putting it flat on the ground. And then the guy over here to the right looks at you and says, "And you, get that weird thing off your arm."
I can't really. It's melded to my hand.
He aims again and says, "Try harder."
And he looks at Karish.
And as you do, this guy trains his gun on you and gets ready to fire at you. Karish will whip out some twin laser pistols from under his coat and start firing.
And as he does that, Echo is going to... Oh man, what options do we have here?
Get the right music here. There we go.
Good music.
As he trains on you, Karish fires a flurry of blasts from his twin pistols, kicking his plasma rifle over in your direction and hopping under some partial cover as all of these guys move for cover and start firing in your direction as well.
Echo's gonna go to grab the gun, the plasma gun. I assume he's used it before. I'm sure they've done like training, target practice or whatever with Karish's gun.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's the rifle is a little heavy for you, but you've used it before. The pistols are
Yeah.
more your style.
he's not the strongest. Oh, did he hand the rifle or the pistol?
It was the rifle that he slid along the ground to you because he had to drop that since it was an obvious weapon.
Yeah, Echo goes to like grab it and he's like, "Oh, this is heavier than I thought." And then he goes to open a portal and bring out. Regardless, he's gonna bring out somebody. He's gonna call the cavalry.
Okay, where are you calling the cavalry from?
God, I could say Earth and drag someone else in. No, he's gonna call in. Let's go the Frost Wolf.
All right, roll me that calling the cavalry.
That'll do.
Okay, that'll do. Let me get you ready here. And yeah, you open up a little portal. And where do you want to send it? Do you want to send it right into the middle of the fray, or like send it over to the side?
Assume the guy that was training shots on him because he'd be the closest.
Okay. I'll move you back a bit here. And yeah, you open up a portal, and one of the creatures from the frost dimension hops out of it, seemingly just at random, as if it didn't, wasn't expecting to be here, and Spark hops out of your earring, flies over into it, and its eyes glow as you gain control over it. Or at least you can communicate with Spark and at least command it. Yeah, this
Spark,
thing
go
will...
fight who you want. He has to like train a shot on one of the legs of the guys.
Yeah, the creature is gonna run over and basically go to jump this guy who was about to shoot you. So roll to directly engage a threat for me.
For the wolf.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. The wolf runs over and basically gets like the butt of this plasma rifle smashed into its face before being blasted off to the side, heavily damaged, as it basically just sort of took the shot for you and gave you enough time to find some cover. Karish, meanwhile, is providing covering fire so you can figure out what you want to do next.
Echo's gonna probably go to... Okay, what is the lay of the land like? I'm just trying to think this out.
They've got a lot of cover in their direction. You guys have a lot less cover, and each of them are firing plasma rifles in your direction of various builds. It seems like the guy that is above the top of the crest, the robot, has one that's got a scope, and he's aiming from much farther away.
Does he have something to like lay the rifle on so he can like aim?
Mm-hmm.
Keep it steady?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a or mm-hmm?
That's an That's a yes.
Okay, I didn't know if that was a negative. He's gonna go to put the rifle and heave it onto the rock to keep it steady and just take aim at the robot first with the scope.
Alright. Let's see here. Roll to directly engage a threat for me. Now for you instead of the wolf.
Yeah. Not bad.
That is a partial hit. You get 1 from the directly engage a threat list.
Take something from them. I'm gonna shoot the gun out of his hand.
Okay. Then yeah, you two get into kind of like a little relatively close range sniper battle as Karish is just holding the other guys away from being able to move from their positions. You and the robot fire off a few shots. He fires a shot that blasts into your shoulder, which actually gets you a bit of damage, but you manage to get a shot off on this guy's gun and knock it away from him, causing it to slide down the sandhill away from the rest of them and, moreover in this direction, leaving this guy without a weapon as he just goes to fully hide behind cover and stay away from the combat now that he can't really do that much. And he knows, running out to grab his gun might get him attacked by the wolf or blasted by one of you two. So he's trying to be a bit tactical. Meanwhile, this dude right here is going to move over towards the wolf and attempt to finish it off. Do you want to try to protect it, or are you going to stay safe for now and, let the wolf sort of perish?
What's he doing to, I guess, end it?
He's just closing the gap a little bit to fire a clean shot in its head, not leave anything up to chance.
Can Echo open up... This is going to sound interesting, but he knows his portals can cut things, hence his legs. Can he open a portal and just go to, like, cut the tip of the gun off? Not the guy, just the gun.
Roll to defend. Roll to defend the creature.
Oh boy. 1. Nope.
Let's see. Yeah, you consider, like, opening a portal, but you're just, you kind of, like, aim to do so, and you get a little bit of scattered fire from the other two guys, not quite able to make the portal in time as this dude finishes off your pet creature, and then quickly moves back into his partial cover in order to protect himself, and you see Spark fly back over to you with a bit of a huff in the earring.
Echo huffs back. You know what I said? I missed this. I didn't mean this.
Yeah, this isn't my favorite part either, boy. What are you thinking?
No, we're can you, is there a way you could call your boys?
Well, we're a little far away. I can't really call the cavalry like you can.
He lets off a few more flurries of shots, knowing that you're capable of a lot more damage than he is without his rifle.
Echo kind of sighs and thinks, and he because I assume he's kind of near the trash pile, isn't he?
Who?
Echo.
Yeah, you're near the trash pile.
Is there anything even that he just scavenged? Is there anything he can use to make, like, I don't know, something to, like, a flashbang?
Let's see. You rolled earlier for superior, and you got a really good roll. So yeah, as you kind of roll over a little bit deeper in the dune, and you kind of start messing with some of the scrap, again from behind like a rock or something, and you do end up finding something that you think could be utilized as a flashbang if you had Spark go into it and detonate it near them.
Yeah, he's gonna use alien tech then. He's gonna smile and use alien tech for Spark to do just that.
All right.
Please, for the love of God. Yeah.
There you go. All right, and that can work either exceptionally well or twice.
Let's do exceptionally well and just blind these poor bastards.
All right. Yeah, you call out for Karish to, not look as you chuck this glowing thing in. Spark, piloting it basically as you chuck it at their feet, duck behind. Your goggles probably would have helped anyway, but you duck behind, maybe plug your ears comically as the flashbang goes off at their feet, and it staggers all of them, allowing Karish to fully stand, fire a few clean shots at some of their chest plates to knock them off kilter. And you've got an opportunity to do something yourself if you wish, to try to finish things.
So off kilter, I mean, are they on their ass or?
They're all staggered and, like, kind of trying to come to their senses after being flashbanged.
Ooh, what to do? This is gonna sound weird. Does Kirsch's gun have a stun setting a la, like, Star Trek?
Yeah, probably.
He's gonna go to just shoot the leader right in the chest and just stun the poor bastard as a statement to the rest of his men.
Okay. Yeah, and you made the opportunity yourself, so you fire this shot from the gun. You make sure to get a steady shot and maybe, like, heft it up with both hands, fire it, and you get this static shock in the chest of this guy, and it zaps him, causes him to drop his own gun and stumble back before, these two run up to their guy, their leader, run him around the back of this stony nook, and they all group together just saying,
All right, we're done here. Criff this.
And they all start moving off in the distance in the sands, trying to create some distance between you guys.
Echo shoots off a few shots just to scare him. He's not aiming for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you better Criff and run.
And as you fire off a few shots, Karish chuckles and says, "Easy, boy. We only got so much ammo."
He's like running on adrenaline. And he's like, yeah, whoo, oh, we did that.
Yeah, we did, boy.
Good job as always.
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Good. I just. And he goes to like heave the rifle to hand it back to him. And he kind of winces and holds his shoulder. Oh, ow.
Oh boy, you're old still a bit. He hefts the rifle back over his shoulder, pockets his 2 pistols, and he pulls out a little small tin, opens it, and making sure not to get his claws in the ointment, he has, rubs some of the pads of his fingers and goes, "Alright, take off your little shoulder thingy."
Echo does so. He's like, oh, is this the stuff that stings?
Yeah, it's always the stuff that stings, boy.
Oh, I hate that stuff. Okay, all right.
You're old still. I promise
and he
not to
goes
clip
to-
you with my claws this time.
I promise. And he pulls down his mask and he like goes to take out like a dagger he has, and he like bites on it as he's like, all right, I'm ready.
He just shakes his head, is like, over dramatic, and just starts putting the ointment on your wound.
He hates it. He hates anything medical.
You know, boy, for somebody who lost his legs, you have a low tolerance of pain.
Oh, he takes the dagger out of his mouth and like sheaths it. You'd be surprised. I got flung into a wall a week or so back.
Seems like you're usually in a lot of trouble there, just like you are here.
Yeah. Follows me like sand. He kind of kicks the sand with the side.
I bet it does. Alright. That should be good. The ointment should do its own work. And he
Thanks.
pulls out a wrap and just goes to wrap your shoulder a little bit.
He's grumbling. He didn't want to get shot. He clearly didn't want to get shot. He's just kind of like, oh man, I could have showed him what I did.
Now remember, this is the stuff that cleans the wound, so don't wash it out for a little bit, alright?
Alright, I promise.
Alright, you're good to go. He clips the wrap with his claws.
He smiles and gives a little nod and thanks as he puts the shoulder plate back on and kind of winces and kind of rolls it.
Well, did you get a good look at the pile? Find anything you can use?
A few things, and he kind of like pulls out the scraps he had found for him and kind of offers them. I'm gonna do a little bit more digging, but this should pay at least for the information.
Thank you, boy. He goes to pocket it in his coat and goes to check the surrounding area as you're digging through the scraps. And you know, for the most part, you're just finding broken bits of metal. You don't really know what must have crashed here, because you don't really have an idea of all the possible things that could. But, you know, you find bits of metal you think you could sell, bits of metal you think you could weld together. Honestly, you could probably sell all of it, not that it would get you that much back. But, you know, not really anything too exciting. Nothing that's really gonna get you much. But after a bit of digging around and sadly drooping your shoulders a bit, Karish speaks up from over the stony cliff face and just says, "Hey, boy, what exactly was it you were looking for?"
Like projectors, sort of.
You hear him pick something up and move over. And, you know, you look to him as he comes over and he hands you a rifle, which for a second you think might be his again, but you notice it's a lot differently shaped. And you realize it was the rifle that you shot out of that other guy's hand. And he says, "Take a look at this, boy. It's got some mighty fine parts in it."
Echo kind of pauses and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I did shoot this thing out of his hand." He kind of like takes a breath in of pride and he kind of like, "I did do that, didn't I?" And he kind of like looks it over to see what kind of parts. What rarity is this one?
This is a pretty nice weapon. It's nothing like insane, obviously, nowhere near like your gauntlet. But it's a pretty nice weapon. You think this would probably fetch a pretty penny altogether, but you notice that, of course, since it is a pretty well-crafted and powerful long-range weapon with a few different modes to it, it's also got some very nice parts. And you think that the scope and the internal ammo mechanism might be able to be repurposed for that little project you're working on.
Echo kind of like looks it over with his goggles and like his like eyes are sparkling as he listens. He's like, "This could work. This could work."
I'm glad, boy.
Are you sure you don't want to use this?
He puts up his hand and said, "We came out here for your project."
Okay, you know, what I'd offer. And he kind of gives a chuckle as he goes to like sling the rifle. I'm sure it has like a bandolier or something. He can put it on his back. He slings it over his back. Did you know who those guys were at all?
Oh, them? I've not seen them before. Odds are just another scrapping party like most of the boys we see.
Well, hopefully, at least your information was good.
Yeah,
Hello.
thankfully they didn't lead us out to the middle of nowhere again.
That wasn't fun, especially not those sound rooms. Although,
some turncoats.
maybe your boys could come back and get the rest of this. I'd hate for this all to go to waste.
And he'll sit down and start putting some stuff in the bag, noting to you that the containment cubes probably won't be necessary. But he nods and just says, I'll bring it back to him, see what they can make of it. Couple of bits here and there, maybe.
Oh, scrap! It's such a sad thing to see all this scrap go, though.
Well, sometimes that's the way it is. I don't know why anything ends up here, but well, at least it can be used for something, I guess.
Did you know they had smaller scrap on Earth that you could exchange for more important things?
Sounds about right, given that's how we do it here.
Yeah, but like it's smaller, like it's like coins. Oh, sorry, you don't know what a coin is. It's like, and he kind of like pats himself down. He pulls out like a quarter, and he shows him it.
He kind of pinches it with his big claws and looks over it and just says, "Some mighty fine crafty work."
Yeah, and they all have that too. And then they have paper that has numbers on it that they also exchange for goods.
Well, each place has their customs, I suppose.
I don't. Well, she's not really kind of my. I don't know. I don't know what to call her. My acquaintance. She calls it currency. He goes to take the quarter back and like roll it between his fingers as he just like tucks it away.
And he shrugs and just says, "Well, you ready to head back?"
Yeah, that should be good. And before he goes though, I'm just gonna take one last quick look, and he's gonna just go to look to see if there's anything else of value he could snatch, or anything he might recognize.
Yeah, looking around, sadly, seems like there's not much here. You at least got what you were looking for with the rifle, which was a lucky find. But yeah, you're just kind of, your shoulders droop and you're like, I was hoping for some kind of surprise as Karish pats your back and, stores all of this little bits of metal and crap away that, he can go pawn off. But in the very least, you found what you were looking for. So you take the chip on your shoulder and you're like, all right, let's head back and start putting stuff together.
Literally and figuratively, you got shot in the shoulder.
It's true. And yeah.
Do you need help carrying something?
I'll be good, boy.
Okay, you're. Oh yeah, I guess you're young. You're not a day over 30. You kind of looks at him.
I just don't want to stress your shoulder too much.
I got 2 of them.
Well, I wouldn't test that too far. Don't want to lose one of them, yeah?
Yeah, and he kind of looks down at his legs, and he frowns.
All right, boy. Let's head back.
Right behind you. Well, beside you. Well, ahead of you. He goes to walk in front of him and scout it out.
You jump around, and he just walks calmly, and you guys end up heading back to your abode. After leaving this desolate realm, going to return to Star Heights just a few days later. It's getting close to the end of another week as we follow a very specific girl on her way to do some practice with a new partner.
Practice.
Some practice indeed. And here we are.
That's me.
Lost in thought, Lily, you're making your way to the dome for your scheduled fight with Priscilla. There's probably a lot running through your mind. You've had a bit of a cough. It's really just been not a very fun time. And as you're making your way down the stairs, just kind of thinking to yourself, someone sticks an arm out to stop you. And you look to see who it is.
I look to see who it is. This guy's getting everybody at some point.
You're kind of down in this direction, and Gabe just kind of stops you and looks you in the eye and just says,
Could just call out my name. Could just stop me in a normal way.
he shrugs and just says, I need to speak to you about something.
Why? I'm kind of in the middle of something. Well, I'm in the middle of getting to something.
He just looks at you for a second, making unflinching eye contact for a little bit too long before asking, what is your power?
Telekinesis, dude.
He looks at you for a second again and says, you did something to me on the beach when you touched me. Why was I able to feel you?
Jeez, man, this is kind of moving fast, isn't it? It's a joke. You can laugh.
He just kind of looks at you with a flat expression.
I don't know, man. You seemed kind of hopped up on, I don't know, just adrenaline in general. I mean, you're about to, like, wipe out our class president for really kind of nothing. So I think, you weren't in a great headspace.
He kind of just sighs a bit and just says, I don't care why you did it. I'm asking what you did.
No, yeah, I'm saying, I don't know, I just pushed you off. Anything
People
else you
don't-
felt? I mean, you were clearly kind of out of it.
People don't just push me. When someone tries to push me, I don't move.
Okay, well, have you considered you're not actually all you think you are? I mean, we're in high school, dude. You're not the toughest shit to ever grace the world. Like, chill out. I've met
I know what it
I've met
feels
a lot
like
of
when my
games
powers are not working.
Okay.
And I know what you do is not telekinesis.
Okay, well, kind of 0 for 2 there, I guess, then.
Can you do what you did again?
What?
Can you do what you did on the beach again?
I'm not... Okay. 1, I don't know really what you think I did. 2, why... It sounds like it fucked you up. If you're fucking thinking about it this long after, why would you want that to happen again?
Because I could feel you touch me.
Okay. Well, this is a weird conversation, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna do whatever it is you want me to do.
Fine. He goes to turn and walk, in this direction a little bit. And he stops and just kind of looks back at you and says, I think that you're capable of more than I thought. That's
Well,
kind of
thanks.
exciting.
Okay, cool.
Then he furrows his brow a bit and says, also, I think you might have misinterpreted some of the stuff that I said. So, sorry about that.
I mean, no, I know you didn't mean it. It's just you have to understand everything you just said. It sounds like the world's weirdest flirting ever.
And then he just goes to turn and leave you be.
Alright. Can I just have like a normal day? She's just gonna pop a cough drop and be on her way.
And after escaping that weird situation, you charge onward to the dome. There, you scan your student ID, open the front door, and you're led inside to a bright light. Yeah, as you walk in and you blink and adjust your eyes to the bright light, You find yourself on a small cruise ship in the middle of the ocean. It's warm, the sun is high, and the breeze feels amazing. You can smell the fresh sea air as waves crash onto the side of the boat. And, shortly after you walk in, you hear the clacking of heels from the upper deck as Priscilla walks out and gives you a little bit of a wave. Hey there, Lily!
Hey, I know we're about to fight. Can I grab a few selfies real quick? Because the lighting in here is actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay. She walks to the edge and does that. Ocean to her back.
And Priscilla just kind of looks over the deck of the ship and, is checking her phone a little bit.
Alright, cool. So can we make this quick?
Oh yeah, I'll make it quick. And she tucks her phone away. And we'll get started. And, as you both kind of like ready yourselves, she quickly does little finger guns at you and starts firing little beams of light down in your direction. How do you want to approach the start of the fight?
I've seen Priscilla do would the light beams just be like for blinding effect, or do they like fucking burn me? Like what's the deal?
You think they're probably capable of both, but you don't really know what these are doing until they hit ground. So you'll know in a second, but not quite yet.
Okay. Well, if she's just shooting beams at me, Lily would just kind of try to, quickly dart away. She's up on a platform, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
She would just try to, run forward until she is at an angle that Priscilla cannot shoot her from up there.
Okay. Yeah, you end up getting behind some of these beach chairs, and you see some of these lasers hit the ground, and you see light singes. Obviously nothing like, oh god, it's going to carve through you if it hits you, but, definitely some heated light beams. And as you go to take some cover, you hear some of the shimmering light and thuds on the deck as some of her light copies jump down here and go to move in your direction.
She's gonna try to get like ghosts to hurl the chairs basically inwards to like smash them.
All right, roll to unleash your powers for me.
I will do that. If I can find my sheet, which I accidentally closed because I had to refresh. What? Let me see. And yeah, I have angry marked, so this is also +1.
Yeah, yep. There you go. Are you picking up all the chairs at once, or are you using like a few specific ones?
I mean, basically the ones she isn't crouching behind.
Okay. Yeah, then you end up, sending spirits out into all of these chairs, and they float up and go to collide in the center here. And yeah, both of these clones get caught up and smashed, instantly disappearing, where Priscilla snaps her fingers, and more of these copies form on the ledge in front of her and go to start moving down in your direction. And she just laughs and says, "Can you get through a one-girl army, Lily?"
Fucking bitch. Okay. Lily's gonna come out from behind the chair, run forward, and is just gonna try to basically leap up to actual Priscilla. Like,
okay.
She has the ghosts in her to empower her leap, and when she's leaping up, she's gonna have them, burst out from under her a bit to, push her out.
Okay. Roll to directly engage a threat as you're closing the distance with the real Priscilla and, going in the general direction of her copies, which are moving towards you.
Yep.
Yo,
that was a double 60.
All right, with these copies down here, you can pick 2 from the directly engage a threat list. You can resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition, which would obviously not be the copies, but would be Priscilla.
I guess I would resist, I would avoid their blows by I'm just getting away from them out of arm's reach.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise Priscilla by, leaping up and landing on the little banister in front of her.
Yeah. You do that, you manage to leap right over them, you land hard, and you're like, all right, I'm going to end this quick. And when you look up at Priscilla, you see something you didn't expect to see. Quickly, even looking over your shoulder, you see a group of Dey'ja below as well. How do you
Okay.
react to this?
I think Lily thinks, because she knows this is, this happened at homecoming. I was in high school. This happened at homecoming. She knows, just because she sees the Dey'ja now, it doesn't mean it's a Dey'ja. They're just fucking with her. And when Nelson touched her, it snapped her out of it. So I think she's gonna just try to follow through and punch Priscilla in the face, hoping that it will snap her out of it if it's just skin to skin contact.
Okay. Roll to directly engage a threat.
Yo.
All right.
My dice are hot.
Pick 2 from the list.
I don't really have allies, so the opportunity thing doesn't really
Yeah.
function. I would want to. I will avoid their blows, and I suppose I will. I'm gonna take something from them. I'm taking the high ground from her.
Okay. Makes sense. Then yeah, you quickly look around, but still take the opportunity. You're like, all right, I can't hesitate here, and you go to sock Priscilla in the face, and you do land a clean hit. You don't get hit in response, but as you make contact, a cold, deathly cold chill shoots through your body, and your breath is horribly visible as it starts to surround you, and it sends a shock through your system as you just feel like, it feels like you were touched by death just now as you do that hit. And as the creature stumbles back from being hit, when you look at your hand, you can see black veins forming on it.
Lily entirely shivers and has to keep herself from falling back down from where she just jumped. What is that? She's she is clutching her wrist with her other hand, like the one that punched her. What is she doing? Does she still look like a Dey'ja?
Yep. And as you clutch your hand and look back in the Dey'ja's direction, it very quickly closes the gap and goes to grab you. So roll once again to directly engage a threat.
What? A hit.
All right, you get 1 from the list.
I think Lily will just jump again, like she did, and land even higher, basically.
All right. When you land here and you look back down, you see the ship is filling with crowds and crowds of Dey'ja, and suddenly the ocean air isn't so warm anymore. It's starting to feel cold, mist rolling over the ocean, and the wind is no longer blowing. It feels oddly still in here.
Can I just have one normal day? She's stepping back away.
As you go to step back, all of the Dey'ja from the below deck start flying towards you, moving through the air, basically trying to circle you and cut off any direction you might try to run away from them.
What is... Because we're in the dome. I guess it's a dome, not a room, right? It's a big-ass dome.
There are also different segments of the dome that can be, sectioned off as well.
Okay. So I wouldn't think, if I jumped high enough, there's, a ceiling above me or something.
No, you should not hit the ceiling unless you fly for a long time.
Okay. She is just going to call out real quick, Priscilla, I'm done with the fight. I quit. There's something wrong. You need to stop coming close to me.
Okay. And do you move away at the same time, or do you just say that?
She just says that because you said they're circling her, so she wants to see which ones will still be moving towards her if Priscilla hopefully listens.
Okay. As you say that, all of the ones that are flying up here around you continue to go and close in a circle around you, with the one down there staying in place, just watching you.
Okay, none of these are yours. Cool. She will try to, I guess, leap over these and get back down to the main floor again.
Alright, roll to directly engage a threat. Alright.
No.
Yeah, you resist. Once again, super jump over, land back on the deck. And as you land on the deck, your harsh impact with the ground brings you back to reality. You look around. You feel normal. You look back up in Priscilla's direction as she pivots around and aims to fire some light blasts from her fingers, and you quickly notice that you still have black veins crawling up your arms.
I think Lily narrows her eyes for a second and just says, like, okay, was I speaking gibberish, or are you just ignoring me?
As she fires a few shots at you, she just calls out, "What the hell are you talking about?" Roll to take a powerful blow to see if you can dodge these shots.
Wait, take a powerful blow or directly engage a threat?
Take a powerful blow for this one.
Okay.
Kapow!
My dice have been hot.
Your dice have been hot. All right, you can choose one from the higher list or two from the lower list to take a powerful blow. And if you choose the one, we can also put a pin in it for a second and use it at the appropriate time.
Okay, well, I don't have a teammate to lash out verbally at, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to mark 2 conditions, because then that would put me off of 1 condition.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 2 things from the lures that I don't even want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we will do the one and put a pin in it.
All right. So yeah, you say that, you're like, okay, what the hell, was I talking gibberish or something? And she's like, what are you talking about? And is firing at you, not being...
I don't know, I think maybe she brings the hand up. Someone just fucking... Someone is racing outside my window.
Drag racing. They want to see the fight.
Scared me. I think she like brings the hand up that has like the black veins and is hurting just instinctively to guard, so that's the one she hits.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you get hit with a few of these shots, and you notice that each time you get hit, you see the crowd of Dey'ja behind her appear, disappear, as you get hit by a few of these shots and try to parry them off with your superhuman durability. And it seems like she doesn't really notice anything as she goes to jump down and basically just goes to try to like drop kick you. So this time, roll to directly engage a threat. Yeah. All right, get 2 from the list. Your dice are hot.
I think I she gets like shot in the hand, so like her entire arm like tenses and flexes as she grits her teeth in the pain. And when she sees her coming down, I think she just raises that hand and like catches Priscilla by the foot as she's coming down, and just full stops her momentum, like with empowered by the spirits to make her strong.
Mm-hmm.
And she just to avoid her blows.
Mm-hmm.
And she just grits her teeth like, no, for real, because if you're ignoring me when I said that, I'm gonna kill you. And she is going to just throw her back like towards this end of the ship.
Okay. Yeah, you
I guess create an opportunity. I don't know. She's in a bad position.
Yeah, that makes sense. You end up stopping her momentum and throwing her to skid on the ground over here. And she catches herself as you throw her over here, and just says, well, what does she say in response to this? I guess she just says like, I'm sorry, remind me what you just said again. You said like, if she's just pursuing, you're gonna fucking kill her, right? That's how you said it.
She doesn't know if when she said, I'm done with the fight, I quit.
Yeah.
if something about that, the Dey'ja was making it so Priscilla couldn't hear her, or if she didn't actually say that, or if Priscilla's just being a bitch and is like, nah, I'm just gonna fight her anyway.
Okay. Yeah, you catch her foot, throw her over here, and you say that up close. You're like, okay, she had to have heard this. And as she skids over here, she basically just says, being a little violent with the whole killing thing, aren't we? But, like, really, what the hell are you talking about?
Alright, fine, whatever.
She just kind of, like, looks at you for a second, and you feel the cold creeping on you again. And when you blink, once again, you see the Dey'ja have surrounded you. And Priscilla just is like, all right, drama queen, suit yourself, and, like, hefts up her finger guns to go fire lights at you.
The chairs are all kind of bundled around here from when I threw them. I think she's gonna have, the ghosts pick them up and kind of spin them around her to try to, I don't know, ward off the fucking Dey'ja.
Okay. And as you start, like, your ghosts jump into the chairs and start spiraling them around you, at first Priscilla had fired off a few shots just going to continue the fight, which you get hit once, twice by. And then Priscilla stops firing, seeing you're just orbiting chairs around you. And, to her sides with shimmering lights, she creates 2 copies of herself, and raises a mirror barrier in front of herself, assuming that you're about to throw all of these at her.
She's just looking around to see what the Dey'ja do.
They continue to float in towards you, and as you see the chairs go to collide with them, they phase completely through them, all reaching their hands out towards you to try to grab you.
Sick, cool. Really wish Lawrence would get back to me on the whole find some way to hurt them thing. She is going to instead have the chairs, come in towards her, and she is going to, like, try to jump, have them scoop her up, lift her up, get her out of here, again, to a different level.
All right. With this, your chairs are spiraling around you, and you're like, okay, I need to carry myself out of here. And you feel a sharp pain in your throat as you get one more harsh cough, and as you look up, the sky is black. You go to try to move yourself up onto the upper deck, but you are launched straight into the air with an uncontrollable amount of power. When you blink and look around, you are flying several feet in the air and are now falling back towards the ship, with all of the Dey'ja flying up towards you, attempting to grab at you.
Okay. I think she will eject the last spirits that are, like, sort of in her to empower her, like, out from her side or something, hoping that, the force of just shooting them out, like when she did the shockwave a while ago in the first dome thing. Just kind of do that to a specific side to hopefully, knock her, like, this way, so she is instead falling over there or something, into the water, preferably.
Then, as you go to try to avoid the Dey'ja's grasp, roll to directly engage a threat and try to get away from them.
Oh, dice. We were doing so well.
As you fall, your body slowly gets more and more numb, with black veins spreading over all of your visible skin. The spirits seem to have left your body completely. The Dey'ja close in around you in a black cloud, and all grasp your body at the same time. Your body feels starkly cold. Your eyes run into the back of your head, and inadvertently you scream in pain as all of your pain receptors fire on max. You feel like you're dying. And at this very moment, spirits erupt from your body in a powerful maelstrom, consuming the entire ship. You close your eyes for a second, feeling nothing, before you hit the deck hard on your back, with the wind knocked out of you. You look up, and you see Dey'ja floating in the air, all moving down towards you, your skin almost discolored and blue. At this point, Priscilla's clones disappear, and she rushes over towards you and says, "Hey, are you okay? What the fuck are you doing?"
You need to get me out of here. You need to get me out of here right now.
And she just kind of looks around, and seemingly she does not see the fucked up hellscape that you see, but when you look up in the air and see all of the objects on the ship floating around, as well as some now potently glowing and visible spirits, you start to notice that she has to be seeing at least some of this. She just grits her teeth and says, "Damn it, okay." She goes to pick you up and try to rush you in this direction. And at this point, a group of the Dey'ja that were flying down towards you are going to more actively pursue you guys. And by a force that she cannot see, she is tripped, eats shit on the ground.
Oh no.
But as you go tumbling forward, she shoots out a platform for you to land on. What do you want to do?
Do they seem to be like now that she's tried to help me or something? Do they care at all about her, or are they still solely focused on me? Like, do I feel like if I leave her, will that be bad for her?
From your perspective, the Dey'ja are like a gaping hole in the ground with hands reaching out, pulling anything they can into it. And Priscilla is the thing between you and them.
Okay. And it's water for as far as I can see.
Yep.
Okay. She will try to grab Priscilla's arm and like pull her towards her.
Okay. You take just a quick moment to pull her onto the platform with you, and you can feel that she is much warmer than you. Your hands feel icy cold, and as you pull her up onto the platform and the Dey'ja continue to float towards you, you feel the boat rock and shake. And suddenly you both lurch forward, the platform breaking as you fall to your knees as the ship is launched straight into the sky. Priscilla looking at you and just saying, "Okay, seriously? What the fuck?"
Look, I get the aesthetic, but why do we have to pick a boat, man? This makes it really hard to run away.
I had my reasons. I was gonna do this on my own. What are you doing?
I'm not doing this.
What?
It's not me. You think if I was doing this, why would I be freaked out?
Okay, so what's happening? And she clearly cannot see.
We're gonna step in here, and she's gonna create a portal.
Okay. You tear a dark portal open through the air, which surprises her. And do you, just yank to pull her through it, or are you waiting for her to jump?
She's gonna try to throw her through, basically.
Okay, yeah. She is very surprised by the dark portal opening as you go to throw her inside, and as you touch her, another shock fills your body. When you blink and look at her, it is a Dey'ja who grabs onto your shoulders, shooting pain through your entire body.
Okay, so she didn't, Lily didn't see Priscilla go through the portal.
Nope, you did not see that happen.
Okay. Could I try to go through the portal myself, or is this thing grappling me that hard?
Roll to directly engage a threat.
Oh, dice.
Yep, sadly, you are caught off guard by this as it grabs your shoulders and shoots through your body with a cold pain that once again forces an unyieldingly powerful retch as it echoes through the dark sky, and as your blood runs cold, your vision suddenly goes black, and you are unconscious.